Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory this morning, coming off a steep decline that we saw on Monday. All three U.S. markets to the downside to kick off the new week on renewed COVID-19 concerns, and specifically surrounding the Delta variant. Overall, we saw the Dow tumble 700 points on Monday, or about 2%. The S&P 1.6% to the downside. The NASDAQ ended the day down 1.1%. So out of the three, still faring the best for tech stocks. Overall, though, the S&P just 3.1% from all-time highs that we were at just last week. So overall, not that bad. We have to remember the bigger picture here. Markets and traders in general continuing to watch the 10-year Treasury, 1.17 this morning, trying to hold above that 1.15 level. If you remember, just back in March, the 10-year got up to 1.8 almost, which was a multi-year high. Even with Monday's decline, though, as we said, still just 3% off all-time highs from last week. A couple things to look at this morning. Travel stocks back to the upside after leading the decline yesterday. Chinese stocks as well. Remember, we had some renewed concerns over crackdowns in China on tech stocks specifically. We'll look at NIO and DD Global moving around here in the pre-market, and a few earnings to touch on as well. It's Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. As promised, positive numbers right across the board here. 0.4% for the S&P, the Dow 0.6%. You can see the NASDAQ about the same at this point. TSX futures here in Toronto also pointing to a positive start, 0.3%. Yeah, well, maybe we should just pass on cryptos for today, because it's getting ugly as far as cryptos are concerned. 3.7 Bitcoin, Ethereum 3.94% to the downside, guys. The crypto markets, not good. 30,000 on Bitcoin has come and gone. It will be closely watched today. We'll see what happens if we get any kind of, retest or a bounce back. Hopefully back above some key levels here for these markets.
There's a puff pass joke in there somewhere. Well, you won't pass totally on it, but obviously there's a lot to get to today. I mean, it's a big day. I mean, at the close you have Moderna, of course, getting added as of tomorrow morning, meaning the action will be at the close, and then you've got the Nvidia split. So yeah, everyone, of course, Nvidia split. Our charts may not reflect it perfectly, but we'll definitely be looking at that today. You can't ignore Bitcoin. It's actually below that 30,000 mark, but there was a bit of a dip that held 29 earlier in the year, and we'll kind of see what happens there. Break that, you're headed to like that 20 to 24 area. It looks like for the next level of support. I think that's, I don't know, for those that have been sitting out and waiting this out, basically never selling anything at the top. I think it's get in at like 24, probably in front of it if there's any kind of a bigger move. And I feel like some people have been keeping some powder dry, waiting for a test lower, anticipating. So this should be interesting. We had IBM earnings, Silvergate in the crypto space actually reported earnings. They beat slightly. A lot to get to, and in about 25 minutes or so, Mr. Bezos will be headed into space. So good for him. And I think there's like some 18-year-old kid who got the extra seat because it's Bezos and his brother.
I do want to give a big shout out to Matt, who's on here, Mike, everybody on here talking about crypto. I did put a poll up. I'll show that in a second. And thanks to Matt as well, that when this was at $1.40, I was talking about this getting to $1 Cardano. So today it gets to $1.02. So that's why I've been selling. I haven't put any more money into it, but I do like it. I mean, look how obvious this is here. And again, thanks for that credit, because it's one thing to comment, when it's down here, like for me to say, oh, it's at $1, blah, blah, blah. But like when we talked about it when it was up here and that we were nervous about this coming back down, I also sold some Bitcoin. You guys know that at 32, 33,000. And then we talked about getting lighter on Ethereum at 2,200. So whether or not we buy back in today or not is to be seen, but there it goes. So thanks again, guys, for the talk there, because like I said, it's one thing to look at what's happened and then comment on it, guys. And another thing to sort of say where this may be going. I still think crypto has a chance to go lower, like Neil was saying there, 24, 25, something like that. We'll wait to see, but I don't know. Maybe it's worth dipping a little bit into right now, and that was the poll that I had. Which coins are you looking to pick up on the dip? If I had more options, I would have put more. I would have put Ripple. I would have put Like I would have put none, like buy none, like get into cash, or even sell right now due to some of these levels. But right now, let's just do a quick little refresh here. I think it was 300 votes. And it looks like right now, and I don't know if I'm getting love from the community here, but Cardano leading the way. I'll put this in our chat right now. You can go to @TraderTV, Sean, find it. But I am interested to see where this goes. For me, it would just be one of these two middle ones. I'm almost out of Bitcoin completely. And then it's just Ethereum and Cardano for me would be one of those two. And then Dogecoin, I don't know, what is even Dogecoin at? 16 cents, 14 cents, something like that. So we'll wait to see where it goes. And then a couple good, DOT is a good one there. There's a whole bunch. Baby Doge? Okay. Anyways, awesome. I love you guys on Twitter, but just keep it coming. I'll check out all your comments and try to like and or respond to all of them either after the show or as the show goes.
Yeah, interesting to see Bitcoin not even second, not even close to second on that list today. A number of things to get to this morning. I want to talk about Square, a little bit of news this morning on Square, trading in positive territory. Before we do, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, thank you for joining us today. I wish you a successful, positive day, and please make sure to smash the like button right now. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed jump right into things, guys. Square positive on the morning so far. Not a heck of a lot of volume here, but they came out with something that was in the works for a little while, I guess, going back to maybe the middle of last year, maybe Q2, Q3 of last year. They announced the small business banking was on its way. Today we'll kick that off with the launch of business or banking for small businesses, guys. So Square, again, not terribly active here in the pre-market, but one to keep in mind.
No, definitely. Like, I think a lot of stock, everything is going to have basically that wipeout bottom yesterday, and then you're getting a nice little recovery. Now, not everything is going to be up. A couple of percentage to the upside. Now, when you look at some of these names, I think there's a few, and you're going to see some patterns like this when we pull up 15-minute charts, is you're going to see some of those like wipeout bottoms that are still looking to break out. So when you've already had this and then get the break to the upside, you start to get into like a 240 resistance on a Square. That's why I don't think it sets up nearly as well as some other trades. I don't know, like maybe it actually gets and gives you a 240 break if the market's strong enough. But you start to think about, okay, if we had that wipeout bottom, what does it look like if we get back to the 230 to 232 range? So a few names on that we're going to be talking about here today, I think, have that secondary breakout. Like you said, Brennan, this isn't something new. It was something that is going to be expected. I love that they're expanding. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be an interesting space to look at today. Any of the equity names that are connected in any way to the crypto space, I think, should be in some interesting potential buying opportunities. Silvergate's a little bit strong. Square is strong this morning, and I feel like for some people might find that to be a little bit of a safe place to play. So on any weakness, it could be interesting to pick something up at like that low 230s, although I don't necessarily think we get there. I love some of these setups where they have not broken out after yesterday's gains. They just sort of come right back to key levels and are set up to break.
Just doing it. So NVIDIA 189 times 4, 756 right now. Okay, Coinbase, just looking here, I mean, I love Square. I'm in Square a lot. I'm in PayPal, and I'm just, I mean, all of us sort of just started building. I mean, not all of us, but anybody that was just into Coinbase just started because it was just its birthday a couple months ago. But now you're back down here to all-time lows for Coinbase. So watch out for 211, 210. I don't know. I'm done. I'm not going to be averaging into this one anymore. My last buy was at 231. I thought it was pretty cool when we went up to 260. I mean, I'm in this for a long haul, but again, with crypto falling down, the problem is a lot of crypto traders are hodlers, and we're holding on for dear life, HODL there. So I don't think that Coinbase gets a lot of love when market's crashing because a lot of traders aren't actually trading. They're not getting in and out. A lot of traders, if not anything today, would be looking to buy, right? So that's one side. So a lot of traders don't sell. This is not the equity market where there's hedge funds and different people acting back and forth, transacting like mad. You see shares, I mean, we're record share volumes every single day pretty much not every day, but when the NASDAQ in New York comes through. And I don't think the same is going to be happening for Coinbase. You have Robinhood IPO coming as well. I'm really, really nervous about Coinbase and about Robinhood and Dogecoin and some of these things that seem to have just been popped out of nowhere, right? And so just be very, very careful with some of these investments. I mean, I'm a big fan. You guys know that. I may just pull the trigger on some Cardano right now and get some more in there. But, I'm a fan of that name. I'm a fan of Ethereum, and I'm not really a fan of Coinbase right now. I think you could do better. I'd much rather hold the physical coin like a Bitcoin or something against Coinbase right now. So let's just wait to see how far this thing falls. It's unfortunate.
Let's talk Tesla here, guys. A couple of things to make note of on the watch list this morning. So we'll get to Tesla as far as some levels to look at. But here we go. This is the first, and it happens to be red as well, Model 3 arriving in India, guys, ahead of the official launch of their products on sale in India. That was as of today. So positive for Tesla. We also got a report from Bloomberg actually talking about how, if you remember back to last month, their Chinese sales and Chinese production numbers were down right across the board. They have also bounced back nicely so far in July. So a nice look here for Tesla. If you remember, these EV makers very strong right out of the gate after that initial move down yesterday, just absolutely ripped throughout the day. NIO, another one that did the same thing. We're up here again this morning for Tesla.
Yeah, both NIO and Tesla bouncing off that 50 period, as you mentioned. Now, the difference here for Tesla was it actually made, well, at least for now, it's made a double bottom off that 620 level, which is kind of a decent sign because it did a similar thing at that 550 area, 550, 560 area, although not necessarily in as tight of a bit of a cluster there. And Tesla, had we broken this 620, things would be looking pretty weak on that chart. So you kind of like the fact that we're going to hold these levels here. I know XPeng just came out yesterday dropping the price of their competing model, which puts more pressure on Tesla, of course. And the theme has been there's competition across the board and yada, yada, yada. And the EV names had taken that back seat. But, at the end of the day, Tesla is still the brand that everyone associates electric vehicles with. So, like I said, I'm not just saying that because I like Tesla, but I like this one for a nice little bounce back. I mean, if this is, and a lot of people have said that these pullbacks in the markets are pretty short-lived because there's people that are just looking to jump back in and buy these dips, and I feel like Tesla might turn into one of those names. Now, candidly, yesterday, I was saying, I thought if we broke that 620, we'd get an interesting chance to get back into those like 500 levels where you had 560, 580. If we hold this one today, I think we got a good shot of, if the market comes back, getting that 700. And I'm not sure Tesla's going to do much of anything exciting until we break out from that 700 range, but there's going to be some nice, maybe like scalp trades we can put in there, quick little tiny little swings that'll give you small returns. But that 700 was a wall for a week, and let's see what happens. We need to be able to get back there and test it again. I just fear that the market is going to dictate whether that happens or not.
You had such a great opportunity yesterday, 620 on Tesla. Great bottom yesterday, 620. By the way, I just did buy some more Cardano. So 620 down there on the bottom, 654 here today, coming through the top. Look, I sold some JP Morgan yesterday, and I'll probably be throwing it into Tesla or into NVIDIA, or I sold some NVIDIA as well, pre-split, but that's turning out to be a flat trade right now. So we'll see if NVIDIA does come back down. I want to buy more. So sold some of my a quarter of my JP Morgan yesterday, tweeted that out, bought some PaySafe. That's working out great, actually. And then I do want to get some money into Tesla here, as I think it's worth it. I mean, the bottom 550, whatever, you're never going to be able to bottom pick these names. So I think you just got to get your money in wherever you think it's appropriate. I've already talked about this. I was going long when they first announced India, and now we get this news that they're there. China's doing really well for them. And I mean, look, it's the best of the best. It's the best of breed, right? So you got to take Tesla here if you're taking anything EV. I always wonder if I should put more money into Ford and GM or more money into Tesla. So that's really the only question mark. I'm out of Fisker. I have very, very small Nikola. I don't have anything. I have XL Fleet, as you guys know as well. But for me, if I'm going to be in the EV space, it's Tesla, Ford, or GM, and nothing else. So buy Tesla on any dip. I think that's the right move. There's more and more coming. Their semis are going to be coming out soon. So look, I'm super excited for Tesla. It's a part of my portfolio already. Just looking to add to it, and actually should have been adding to it the last couple of days. Any major NASDAQ dip now, like I'm already fully invested into Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, because they're all at all-time highs. So this is the only name that really isn't. So we'll see here where we go. Amazon, again, another name for me. So I want to buy Tesla, GM, and Ford. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, that Electrek website reporting this morning that the Tesla Semi finally set to go into production as well. So, I mean, a number of positive catalysts to talk about when it comes to Tesla. 15 minutes, guys, from takeoff for Jeff Bezos. If anyone is watching, 15 minutes, about 9 a.m. Eastern, it's scheduled to lift off. We have Jeff Mendel, Vice President, OTC Markets, with us to discuss not only OTC Markets, but also some opportunities on said market. Mr. Mendel, great to see you as always. Thanks for doing this. It's going to be an interesting day. All eyes on the crypto markets once again. Number of options when it comes to trading, both Bitcoin and Ethereum coming through the Grayscale products on OTC. What can you tell us about those to kick things off today?
Hey, Brendan. Good morning. It's been a while. So actually, yeah, let's jump right into GBTC, which is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. It's actually trading down about 75 cents in the pre-market based on yesterday's close of 25.25. I'm seeing prints go off as low as 24.40 right now, and so like a little bit of pre-market trading on OTCX, and it's actually the same across the board in these Grayscale names too. We even see some stuff in ETHE, which is the Grayscale Ethereum Trust. Once again, it closed at 16.77. It's trading down as low as $16 on OTCX this morning. So it should be interesting to see what happens today. So getting outside of the crypto space too, I want to bring up a couple other names. We have Luckin Coffee. Again, it's moving around a ton right now. Unlike the crypto space, it's actually trading up a few cents based on yesterday's close. Yesterday closed at 13.06, and today it's trading up as high as 13.20 in the pre-market on OTCX. So there are some other names besides those Grayscale products, but I think that's where all the action is going to be again today.
We've seen this movement in crypto markets. It's hard to get away from that. I do want to mention though, Hertz, the other one. The last time we spoke, we were discussing the removal or delisting from OTC from Hertz because they had exited bankruptcy, if you recall. I mean, I haven't seen anything regarding future plans moving forward as to moving back to one of the other markets. But anything you can tell us about Hertz at this point?
I think it was June 30th. FINRA deleted HTZGQ, which is the Hertz bankruptcy symbol. So no, really haven't heard much more around that name, but I guess we'll see what happens.
As far as Chinese stocks, we've had news out of China, obviously, for the past couple of months when it comes to the crackdown on tech stocks, specifically coming out of China. Tencent Music and Tencent Holdings, obviously, with a listing on OTC as well. I noticed yesterday the Tencent listing doing all kinds of volume once again.
Yes. So it reminds me of pre-Grayscale products, right? When Tencent was the most heavily traded name, and every once in a while Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac would jump up there too. But it's an oldie but goodie. It's trading down a little bit here in the pre-market. So let's see where it closed yesterday. Closed at 69.97, and I'm seeing some prints actually kind of all over the place in the pre-market here. Tight range, but down as low as 69.70 all the way up to 70.30. So once again, all trading on OTCX in the pre-market. But Tencent is a very, very familiar name, especially for the people who like to trade very liquid names in the over-the-counter market. It's kind of like I said, maybe this time 2, 3, 4 years ago, this was it. This was the name, and now it's the GBTC and ETHE take all of its thunder. But lots of liquidity and lots of movement in Tencent as well too.
This is why we love to have Jeff Mendel on, VP of OTC Markets. We appreciate your time as always, Jeff. Going to be an interesting day, crypto related, of course. Have a great and excellent day, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Brendan. Actually, I just want to throw in those two names. We mentioned them already, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, right? Those are two of the other ones. Tons and tons of action yesterday in FNMA. So keep an eye out in those names as well, too.
Lots of opportunity. Thanks, Jeff. We'll touch in again soon. Lots of opportunity, guys, over on OTC markets. Great to have Jeff Mendel with us, as always. Sean, you look at these from time to time as far as GBTC and the Ethereum Grayscale product is concerned. What do people need to know as far as short-term trading on those?
Well, I mean, we just saw right now that apparently, I guess, Kathy Woods yesterday stepped into some GBTC. So, I mean, it doesn't follow crypto exactly one-to-one or anything like that. But I mean, it will follow it enough that if you are looking to get in and you want to get in on a registered product where you can hold it in your own accounts, you know, with TD Ameritrade or whoever you're using, that may not want you to hold or may not be able to hold crypto in those accounts, I think GBTC is a good alternative, man. I mean, even ETHE, this one to me is a little more exciting. A little bit of it as SCOCO now. By the way, Neil and I both have this nice little runner, SGOC. Okay, I don't know what happened there. That must have been a split, so forget about that. You could just see right now, I mean, $42 back in May when crypto was at its highs, down to $16 right now. You're seeing some liquidity issues when it gets a little bit lower in the price. But the point is that, you know, back and forth here, you can see OTCXs right there. There is liquidity in these names. You just have to be very, very careful. It's unlike, you know, SI, Silvergate, or some of these other names that we have there on the mining side where you're listed on the NASDAQ or New York and it trades a little differently. I know that for me, for example, you have to sometimes ask your broker to unlock maybe some pink sheet trading if you haven't had it, and that's the OTC market. So I like ETHE a little bit better to trade than Bitcoin, the GBTC. There is also, I think it's LTHE or something. There is some Litecoin ones as well. But again, you know, it's just a product to track Bitcoin. And I think that if you're in this, that's good. But understand that there is some fees associated with it. And it's definitely not one-to-one to Bitcoin. So a little bit of caution there. But hey, the liquidity's there, like Jeff was saying. We don't have the pre-market trading on our system, but it does also trade pre-market. So it does give you an opportunity to get in case it is moving around a little bit. I like to look at it, obviously, it's not on our platform, but I like to look at it once the market's open.
Yeah, that's definitely a big key there. Just on that SCOCO, because we'll try to cover this move here. I'm just going to show the 15-minute chart because this thing has done something very similar for like 4 or 5 days in a row, where it's had big breakouts and then faded hard at least one time and managed to hold past 930. But almost every single time at the open, you're getting these monster breaks, flush back down, close lower. Big break, close lower, try to break, but every single time it's held this 1025 before holding this 9. So you get nice higher lows here, and then this 1450 area was sort of forming at the top. Goes for a nice little clean break. I know a few of us were talking about SGOC looking pretty good when you expanded to like a weekly chart there, and that's all we're looking at here. So I know we both took this break to the long side. I just took a bunch of profit out. I want to try to hold till 930 because it's had 930 pops in it, 1650, and then $19 those levels. If it finally sustains a breakout, SCOCO, SGOC is one of those names that it'll halt on you. For sure, this thing will halt because of the amount of liquidity that it has. So if it continues that break at 930, if it goes into a halt state, I would hold through the halt, but get out on the reopen, at least some of my shares as always. So SCOCO on the run. Hopefully this is the day it actually follows through because it's had a bad history of doing that at the open.
All right, a few analyst moves, guys, to mention this morning. IBM on here after earnings, big move aftermarket yesterday. We'll talk about that. Cassava Sciences, another upgrade for that 124 on the price target. That one really kind of got some traction. I was going back in time the last time we were talking about this when Kathy Wood started talking about Cassava Sciences as well. That would kind of ignited some of that rally. Yep, Apple's here. UBS upgrading, Crocs on this side of the board. Bloomin' Brands, Rocket, Cloudflare. Of note to the downside today.
Like, as if Crocs gets a 130 price target? Like, what the hell's going on? What is Crocs symbol anyways? CRX, I think it is, isn't it? Or I'll have to look at what it is anyways. No, I mean, it's not CRX. But anyways, we'll look at Crocs. Crocs going crazy. One name that I saw on the list there that's not a good one is Rocket Companies. You can see Rocket Companies down to 1670 now. Not a good run for them. We still are in it. We we were just talking about this weekend. I was able to get something out when we were doing this. We actually had options and everything at this point because it was an easy one. The short interest on rocket companies continues to be quite large, but it just can't get out of its own way. So I don't know. Multiple downgrades here on rocket, and I guess just the banks are becoming just as nice and just as easy to deal with. I don't know how much refinancing there's happening right now. I thought there would have been a lot with the housing boom and things like that. But I guess right now, what is this bottom? 1625. So that's going to be coming into play. That's an all-time low right here for rocket companies. So watch out, man. Formerly Quicken Loans, this could break this bottom of 1625. And when it does, I would say look out below. But I mean, I don't think it's going to crash. They don't have crazy volatility you can see every day. It's like just been dripping to the downside. So watch out as the 10-year, now I have it up over here, 1152, on the other screen right now. So watch out for the 10-year starting to go down. So we're going to watch some of these banks again today. WFC on my watch.
Yeah, there's no chill in that 10-year. Just one quick note, because I saw Cassava Sciences. Remember when Sava was up like a couple weeks ago, Sean? We're like, that thing's at 105. Well, that thing hit 72 and change yesterday, as low as 73. And I just want to quickly point out, like, you had this level around $70 on a pullback when this thing went absolutely in January. And then when it had its breakout, there was one little dip into this 70-71 area. So when you get these wipeout days and everyone's panicking, if you happen to like something, look for that obvious blowout support. Sometimes you actually get those prices, right? So I had that happen to me on Tesla when I was looking to buy a dip, and so you just wait for the dip to happen. And then I've sort of learned my lesson. If you really want to get into something and you feel the market is weak, sometimes just having a bid out there, it makes a little bit of sense. You can catch a falling sword. I'm not saying I'm getting into Sava, but it's just an interesting chart when I looked at it.
All right, let's get into what's moving around in the pre-market, guys. If you need the morning note that we send out every morning, Miss V will help you out with the link required to get that absolutely free, guys. All you have to do is register for that. We send it out every morning. Travel stocks back on the list this morning. We were discussing these in depth yesterday. They were kind of leading in the pre-market as far as decliners yesterday are concerned. We're higher right across the board as a group this morning. However, they are starting to fade off a little bit here already. CCL, an interesting one here today. Yeah, 1.6 right now. They did come out aftermarket yesterday and said they now have plans in place to have more than 50% of their fleet back in operation for vaccinated itineraries by the end of Q2 of this year. So, I mean, worth a look here, guys, but this isn't exactly positive so far.
I'm struggling to find a chart that has a failed break that's as sort of crazy on the daily. I mean, as Carnival, and I think it's interesting because I remember when we were talking about this with Daryl. I know one of our viewers trades this a lot, and when that 30 was a fail, and just how weak it ended up getting. We didn't get to that 18 price yesterday. I did mention that there were a few names out there that had the gap down, made the wipeout bottom, and are basically sitting and teetering right on yesterday's highs. And so pre-market tops, the rebound top 2030, 2035, about that range. It's exactly where our pre-market high is sitting right there, 2032, right in between that 30 and that 35. So Carnival, just like yesterday, it's right on like what I think can be a nice little interesting resistance level, that 2035. So I'd like to play it in both directions here. I mean, overall, we're up on the session today, but it's not like we're screaming above, screaming or in momentum to that upside there. So, I want to lean into this one to give it a shot for at least to be a short, but you can't ignore that little bit of a breakout. I mean, NEO has a similar setup as well, and I don't know. I mean, AMC had a setup like this and then already broke out, and it's given everything back. So, I look at how the breaks are going right now. NEO not doing anything. AMC kind of coming back in here. The travel space, which got beaten up the worst, barcoding in front of that resistance point. If we don't break that today, I don't see how you're not retesting at least close towards those lows at that 19. All that said, you look at that daily and it's like, man, if this thing gets any kind of legs under it, you could have a couple of days of absolute gold to the upside, just given how far it's fallen. So, I always want to make sure I'm ready to go long if I have to. This reminds me of Virgin Galactic when it was a short until it wasn't. Although that one, I guess, is still a short.
Okay, yeah, Virgin Galactic still is short forever. I think we'll be picking it up hopefully in the mid-20s. We'll see. But yesterday, yeah, I mean, we could talk about CCL today, but it's too bad my trades aren't showing up. We were short yesterday in and around here and captured it down to here. So it was a big win for us on CCL yesterday. Just should have re-shorted it around this 2030 area where I believe there's some resistance. So, you know, yesterday was a great opportunity to short CCL. We had it. It was on our, I actually have my sticky note here yesterday. Yeah, here it is right here. Downside. So we had it yesterday, CCL right there. So again, it's like sort of like a second day continuation, but it did bounce nicely into the close a little bit anyways from 1950, basically, I mean, up to the aftermarket high of about 1980. So that's 30 cents straight to the up. I like it when stocks close strong. This did that on some decent printing, some decent volumes that of course, some of these are the market on close orders and then the 350 order. So there is some big movement to the upside there, but I like this 2030. Yesterday it was a top, today it's a top. I still think we sell these. I think the worries are not over yet about, you know, the Delta variant and things like that. And I mean, even here in Canada now, finally, thank God, maybe we'll have Jeff Mendel back in the building very soon because Canada now allowing U.S. citizens that are double vaxxed to come through, right? And then more countries going to be added to that starting August 9th. So that's just good news all around for anybody willing to travel because the more people get, you know, that, you ever heard of the travel bug? Like the more people get that bug, the more they'll be traveling. So it's just quite simple. I think CCL is going to be a good retrace back to the upside. Like Neil just mentioned, there's a lot of opportunity for it to just keep going. But I mean, we called this short and we've, you know, I've basically been trading it short the last 6 or 7 days, to be honest with you. I mean, you can go back, my sticky notes are posted every day, and then you'll be able to see that we've just been looking for the shorts here in CCL. The bottom, like we just said, they're 1860. That's not gonna come into play today, but let's just short some of these pops and then see where we go. I mean, back, I don't know, into this area. We just talked about it. 2050, 2080, things like that. So I'll put an offer here around 2030 and see where we go. Before I throw back to Brendan quickly on the imbalance locator with a half hour to go. CCL there. So yeah, see, it's a buy. I didn't even realize that was on there. Mark Roberts fame, LUV is on there as well. I'm a lover of Ford. We already talked about that. Palantir. Yeah, hey, what up, Randy? Randy in the building. What's up, Randy?
When did Randy get...
At Trader TV, Randy, loving some Ford. Palantir as well. I'm a big buyer of that at these levels. I'd like to see it a little bit lower, but there's a lot of stocks. Remember yesterday, Brendan, I said it was all S's and no B's. Well, today it's some Brandon love as we get going here with only Pfizer on the sell and then poor Vale down there with 91,000. But a lot of love on the imbalance locator today, Mr. Wickens.
Yeah, oil stocks still can't get out of their own way. Let's have a look at the overall market here. We'll bring Arun in and check out the futures because, I mean, it was a lot better, Arun. We're back to about 0.4 here. What do you think overall? I mean, if we can sustain this, what do we need to look at?
Well, it's interesting. We're pretty much right where we were, well, not right where, but we're in the general area of where we were trading yesterday morning. And when we were in this mid 60 area, I was looking at 75 as the inflection point for the day, for me at least. If we were above 75, I was looking to go long. If anything underneath there, I wasn't going to go on the long side. I was just going to wait for the market to play out. And the market fell apart, right? Throughout, we broke 50, called all the way down into the mid 20s. And now, late session yesterday, we kind of got this like program buying right at the end there that got us into the 50s. And overnight here, we are going into the 75s, into the almost to the 80 mark, but we're still hesitating. That makes me think that this area is still valid. I'm sliding that level from yesterday that was at 42.75. I'm moving that to 42.80. I'm still looking at that specific zone as the inflection point. So for now, even though the market's up, I'm going to consider the possibility of shorts above 70 if we can get it. We're at 64 right now. If we can get above 42.70 and start some form of a rotation, I'm looking for some shorts back down. The bottom level I've got is 42.20. Anything in between is, I'd like to stay away from taking any trades in between just because the levels are kind of overlapping one another. I'm looking at 42.55 into 50, which kind of just takes you right down into the 40 area. So they're like a little too close together and they're overlapping. So I'm just going to mark off the top and the bottom, which is 42.80 on the top end, 42.20 on the bottom end, longs above 42.80. Any shorts available if you can find a setup in front of 42.80 within the 42.70 area, 10-point risk, maybe a short there off the pop if you can get one. If the market falls off into the 50s, I'm going to hold off. If we can get into the 40s, though, then I consider the possibility of the market slowing down and looking for a long bounce. But those are the only two areas that I'm interested in for now, especially the 75, 80 mark, just because I was also looking at this yesterday and it's just that much bigger today. So that's definitely the more important one of the two. The bottom, yes, but this 75 to 80, that I think you really got to pay attention to this.
All right, great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, guys. Keeping my eye on some of these banks because to start things off, JP Morgan just went red on the day. We had banks back on watch this morning as, yeah, there we go. You can see 0.2 now for JP Morgan. We were up here. 10-year starting to slide back to the downside as well. Is there a trade here in these today, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think I really like. Look, I've talked about it yesterday when I sold some JP Morgan, bought some PaySafe. So we'll see how that trade works out. I sold it right here, so we'll see where we go. But for me, I really like, and I've already tweeted it out. I also tweeted to go short NVIDIA. That was at 190. It's at 185. Okay, so I like these levels, these little, and again, this is what I was showing the sheet for. It's at my number one stock. It's 4250 longs. So I think you can watch out for WFC here. Made a nice little base yesterday. Again, my trades aren't showing up, but we actually shorted it right here yesterday, 43.25. Like, what a lucky fill that was. I mean, lucky, whatever. You put the order out there based on the pre-market high. It comes right up, touches us, and then gets faded all day. But the thing, not all day, but all morning. And then you see that it started to bounce around this 42.30. And then in the afternoon, it was thinking about heading back to the south side. Remember, the Dow was down like 900 points. That's not great for bank stocks. I mean, we only wound up down 700, but this rebound into the afternoon close was beautiful. And then now today, you're just about flat one more time. So I don't want to take any breakouts. Like, I don't think that we need to break this out here at 43.30 or anything like that. For me, I'm playing the dips back into the long. Oh, yeah, the charts, unfortunately, here, hold on a second. Let me just pull this back for WFC here. This is an E-signal chart. Unfortunately, some of these wicks, we really got to get those figured out here. But here we go. WFC on the daily chart. So this is what I mean. Look at this support. I mean, you can go all the way back to April, obviously, as I'm going back to April here, when WFC just started getting some love on their last earnings reports, right? So some nice love for WFC. They definitely beat the report back in the spring, and then it wasn't great this time around. So you did get that fall from 46 down to 42, and then now you're just bouncing around. So I think we got to support this 42 as much as we can until something changes. The 10-year now down to 1.14. I mean, it's just going to be harder and harder for these banks to make money with some of these yields like this. But the point is that they're still up here, and who am I to say anything? I'm not an economist or anything like that, so we'll just trade the price action. To me, it doesn't make sense that the banks are really still up here, but I believe the U.S. economy is super strong. I believe the U.S. consumer is super strong. I believe there's more money, this is a fact. There's more money in U.S. Bank accounts right now than there was pre-pandemic. That's a fact. So look, let's just keep it going. For me, though, I sold some of my bank positions. I'm still long in the Canadian banks. I think Canadian real estate and everything I think is under control. It's ripping like crazy, but I think banks here are a little bit better positioned possibly than the U.S., so we'll hold on to some of that. But I am looking to buy American Express, Visa, MasterCard, things like that on any dip. So we got one yesterday in AXP. I may pull the trigger if it goes lower, but WFC to me is a defend to 42.50, quite simply.
Yeah, I'm defending on Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley's still positive on the session. Look, at the end of the day, like the trading banks, are going to probably do a little bit better with the yields making absolutely no sense. At least they don't make any sense to me right now. So I think at some point they're going to catch a bit of a bid. Picking it is almost impossible. But I'm simply looking to yesterday's lows. If it gets anywhere close at 87.5, that's going to be a defend for me. There is a key interesting price here from the afternoon at about 88.85 or so. That if Morgan Stanley wants to try to turn there, it'd be a good trade. Morgan doesn't do volume in the pre-market, guys, so I don't think it's going to be the kind of thing where you're looking to get in. It's done 20,000 shares, which is absolutely nothing. A lot of people are asking to see NVIDIA on the chart. Of course, ours is not going to be automatically split adjusted, but I think there's a fade trade in here. A couple of key numbers to think about. On NVIDIA, 191.84 is going to be a previous resistance level to the upside. If you pull up like a 15-minute chart, just divide everything by 4 there. And then positive to negative, or I guess negative to positive, whatever you want to call it, 187.80. So 187.80 is that sort of, I think, fade spot at the open. This would be where it turns technically positive. You already saw it touch once, and you see it touch here twice, and then reverse again. So that could be an interesting number. And if we push to the upside and get that like 930 fade trade, which would be off the either off of pre-market highs or that 191.84, you get a fade off of those. That could be a take profit. It can be a breakdown trade. For now, we're trading pretty comfortably below it on NVIDIA, but just make sure you do those conversions. You can, if your chart doesn't convert automatically, you can still just do, divide by 4, throw that number down, and then you have that for a price of reference, guys. So NVIDIA is going to be an active one to trade here today, almost certainly. So I'm looking for that 930 fade trade off of the open. You guys have seen it. You're looking for that pop and then short off of a key level, whether it's 187.80 or whether it's off of this little peak here at 189.90 or off the pre-market high or off that other 191.84. It's a setup I like. Any of those 4 prices or price areas are good for
Yeah,
that
I can
setup.
do NVIDIA.
All right, why don't we talk about NVIDIA here on the list this morning, guys. Obviously, the split in place as of this morning. Sean, you want to give your thoughts on NVDA?
Yeah, so I sold NVIDIA yesterday and I tweeted it out again at 7:45. So it just divided by 4, right? So right now you get 186 times 4. So exact same price that I sold it at, so 744. So right now we come in with basically a moot open here. We'll see what happens. Like Neil just said, our charts are going to be silly, so we're going to go to something else. I'm going to use e-signal until our charts figured out, which will be never. Okay, so this is a big movement down here to 189 today. We've already hit highs of NVIDIA. Now we could start using this, like 210, 208, things like this, as e-signal has it now split adjusted. But you're right down. So this is the thing. Forget about the split adjust or anything like that. We've seen it come down a little bit now. AMD, NVIDIA, Micron, basically the SMH. I'm a holder of that. I am debating rotating some of the cash into that, but I do like these names. I mean, I don't see why. Once they settle with ARM, it seems like that's getting tons of approvals now. They like that deal. And then AMD has Xilinx. So I've actually put today that I want to short NVIDIA, and remember the reason why? I just think a lot of this, forget about what we've seen the last couple of days. Maybe this was the sell-off. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was the sell-off into the listing here, the split. So we'll see. If that's true, then we'll hold this one. I mean, where are we right here? The 50-period moving average is highlighted right here, 179.65. So if we can hold that 180, then maybe that's something on NVIDIA. I am looking to get back into it, even though I sold yesterday. If I'm wrong, I'll just buy right back. I mean, whatever. If I give up 1 or 2 percentage points, that's fine. This is a long-term play for me. But if you look at AMD, to me, that's a little bit more situations of concern. We're down here to $87. I was really hoping for an 88. I mean, will these charts even go? No. So now I'm getting the crosshairs of death. But I am looking at this 88 level, 87.50. You can see yesterday on AMD was a rocking and rolling morning. I got a lot of credit for this, so thank you. But we were initially long off the top here. Then we averaged in protecting this day low. That worked out well. And AMD was one of my top stocks yesterday. So let's see if we can do the same thing today. I'm a buyer of AMD down near 86 and see if it can hold. But again, I want to see how NVIDIA acts after the split. It hasn't been good for Apple. It hasn't been good for Tesla days after. So let's see what happens here with NVIDIA. That's my thinking. Also, we do get a lot of talk right now about Peloton. So if you want to look at Peloton, as there goes Bezos, hopefully everything is fine there. Brendan, you may or may not have the news, but I'm sure you do. So let's throw it over to Brendan.
Yeah, the world's richest man on his way to space currently. Here we go. United Health, guys, allowing members now eligible to enroll in some fitness classes for Peloton. So nice collab for Peloton. Up big time here, guys. 6.5%. Hard to avoid some levels up here. 127, 128. Big time for Peloton.
Yeah, I mean, big levels for sure. I was just kind of looking at the launch myself, so good luck, Jeff Bezos. But gapping to the upside, well, running to the upside here, getting into a few key levels, already breaking one of them, and that's that 125. I mean, I'd look if it wants to dip back down, if this trades below like 121, 120 to 121, I would be utterly shocked. I think it's a good headline for Peloton. You have yesterday the stay-at-home kind of idea with a big ramp to the upside. So does it get through this 130 level? That seems like a bit of a key one. That's a big time 2-day move for it not to have some kind of resistance at that 130 level. But if it pulls back, I mean, I got to be looking at 121 if it pulls back hard. And we've seen that on pre-market spiking on a headline. We've seen these things come all the way back, and I just feel like how can that not be defended? Not even 120, but this 121 level from last week for sure on Peloton.
Look, I mean, my charts are loading up right now, so we'll get this in a second. But the point about Peloton is I was a buyer down here. Not exactly at 80. I was a buyer in this 100 range. I've bought 100 before. That worked out up to 160. We had that tragic story there of, first of all, I averaged into SGOC. Now it's back upside. We did have that tragic story of course, the treadmill where we had some incidents, I believe, where an infant lost his life or was severely hurt or something. Now I'm not sure. So we'll have to see, but it was a serious accident there. So Peloton had to recall, fix up all their equipment there, and they took it very seriously as well. I like their response, but now with COVID coming back in, and then I'm just gonna have to fix this chart. This is a daily chart, it isn't supposed to look like this. It has volume weight average price, not 50 period moving average. Anyways, Peloton now with COVID coming back, hopefully not, but it looks like the Delta variant's coming back in. This is a good sign. I've talked to a lot of people that are at home now, and they're not even being asked to come back. So, I mean, you could throw the gym memberships in the garbage at this point. A lot of people have already bought Pelotons, and now they're gonna be staying at home. Whether or not you like the product, it's overpriced or not, who cares? Lots of things in this world are overpriced. People don't care about it. Everybody prefers quality to lack of quality, and most people will pay up for a better product, right? It's like the Starbucks coffee theory. It's happening in Peloton. You've seen what happened to Lulu, and that is what it is, right? Kanye West dumped shoes on the market for $600 or $700, and you can't even find a pair, right? So now Peloton's got their production fixed. They've got a lot of things working for them. I'm a buyer of Peloton, not at these levels. I've been a buyer in the past, and I'm not a seller of Peloton stock until we get up to 150.
All right, I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting absolutely bombarded with gym membership offers lately. And I mean at like 80, 90% discounts off of full price. So it's, yeah. I echo those sentiments. Roku, headline on Roku. NBC Universal just saying they're teaming up with Roku to offer, and I quote, an immersive experience to Roku platform holders ahead of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. So absolutely no action there on Roku after that little headline. So heads up on Roku if anyone's watching that. We discussed NVIDIA already. You guys want to talk about NIO here a little bit? I mean, we looked at some other Chinese names early on this morning. NIO, obviously one of those EV makers that bounced back nicely yesterday, looking to continue those gains today.
Yeah, and I think I talked about this when we were looking at some of the other charts, that you're getting nothing. I mean, literally nothing has happened on NIO. I was in and out, just quickly for a small scalp trade on NIO, and it's just like you get the wipeout bottom through 42.30. It then recovers, holds that price in the afternoon. So at 42.30, I mean, this is like the previous day, and that's Friday's lows. Then you hold at that in the pullback, all set up for a potential break, and then what happens? We end up gapping above that potential price. This is what I mean here. You end up gapping above the price and then not following through it through the 44. So, I mean, on a dip, if 43.40 doesn't hold on a dip, I mean, goodness gracious, like you're talking about $1 lower before afternoon support. I just kind of thought we'd be a little bit more bullish here. You saw Tesla recovering nicely there. It's set up for a 44.05 breakout to the upside on NIO. And then, realistically enough, because breakouts have been, I think, a little bit shady on this name sometimes off the open, you look at that close price. I mean, it closed at 43.34, 35. It's splitting hairs with the 40 area. I think that can be a tight stop for you there. NIO, I'm just a little bit shocked that the volume is so low. So I don't know that I want to put that one on, right off of the open when the volume has been so absolutely weak. I hate to jump to another name here, but that NRBO, just because a few people have asked about it in the chat. When I look at the daily here, I don't really see anything obvious until 5. It was a previous support level that turned into resistance, so that would kind of be that spot where if it spikes off the open, I'd be looking for a fade. Candidly, I was looking to short this for sure on a 365 break. So I had that order in. Actually, I still have that order. I'm going to cancel it right now. I was looking to short this on a 365 break. Looked like it was sort of gravitating towards that. It's broken out. $5 is the only level I got for NRBO.
Okay, Virgin Galactic falling down now to pre-market lows as we still are watching Blue Origin, and congratulations, hopefully. It looks like it's been a big success, but we'll see. Okay, so this was just a stop order that went in and out, but just to look at what we did yesterday on NIO, we had a negative outlook on the market yesterday, sorry. So it was an easy short for me into pre-market lows, pre-market highs, sorry. When Neil ripped up early, we took that right at 9:30, and then it was just cash city, man. Like short 41.50, out 41, out 40.70. That's $1, so that's 80-cent winner, 50-cent winner, 80-cent winner. Then the keystroke, not a keystroke, that was a stop order to get out in case this failed. So in and out there, so no trading, and then no trading in the afternoon. I have a very, very similar thing today, except for it's the other way around. It's going to be a long into NIO. I don't want to short this thing. I still love 44.50 on this, and it was a second name here on the sticky note. The sticky notes have been so hot fire that I'm actually getting nervous that I'm going to start to disappoint and not have all the winners on here, but that's just how it goes, and some days you get lucky, but it's been a great run for the sticky note and for some of these levels. But look at this, 44.50 right here, guys. This is a pretty key level. You go all the way back to July 15th, was just a couple days ago, where we touched 44.50. We touched 44.50 in the pre-market on the 16th, and then yesterday we don't get anywhere near there, obviously on a negative day. So let's wait to see. It's a multi-day breaker here. You broke it here, you touched it there, you break it there. So let's wait to see what happens with 44.50. I like it, and I'm a buyer all the way down to 43. So I've got my orders in there at 43, ready to rock and roll. And then I'm only in one position right now. So there it is, SGOC. We pick up that bottom. Now let's see where we go. I just tweeted it out. It's my only position that we have on board. I will put an offer this time at 15 to get out. I still think we could run here today, but where are the outs, right? And this is the thing that everyone always asks us. And if you're not, is it descending now? Yes, looks like. Okay, good. So everything looks good with Blue Origin.
Yep.
So we will go to the moon. Hopefully one day, everyone, common folk, will have that opportunity. That won't be any time in our lifetime, of course, but we'll wait to see here. Common folk, Neil.
You have to find common folk, man.
Well, affording $250,000.
It will not be $250,000.
Right.
It'll be expensive, but I think reasonable before I die.
So what's a reasonable price for you then? Let's just
honestly, like the cost of a car, right? Like people will take vacations to Disneyland for what they pay for a car, and I kind of feel like if you get into that range,
so you'd go into space if it was say for 20 grand.
I'd go into space if it was say for 50.
50, okay.
Yeah, I'd go into space for 50.
So
yeah,
that's not common folk to me. But okay, it doesn't matter. SGOC. I mean,
people go to Disneyland for half that, so that's all.
Yeah. Actually, Disneyland right now is about, for a family of 4, it's about 9 grand or so. Actually, it's not as bad as you think, actually, and that's food and everything. Okay, anyways, SGOC here. I'm looking at 15 to get out, but I'm just really happy. This is so good because you're always nervous that, not that anything crazy is going to happen up there, but I'm really happy for Virgin Galactic and now for Blue Origin, and then next we're going to see SpaceX and all this kind of stuff. So look, it's really great. I think 50 grand, I mean, even if you can't afford it, it's one of those lifetime things. So I'm sort of with Neil there. Maybe, you ride around in your beater instead of buying a new car. It might be worth that experience for sure. So I'm really excited for that. I don't know if there's any investable opportunities here, but we can look at Virgin Galactic quickly.
There was a move off the launch here that got right to a key level here, I think, like 32.65 here.
Was Bezos in that little thing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's in there. He's good.
Cool, yeah. I wish maybe we could find a picture of it. I don't know if we get copyrights there or anything like that. But okay, so let's just quickly look at space as it's another successful landing there. It appears that everything's cool. I don't want you guys to switch channels, so let's forget about it. But right now, Virgin Galactic is near its day low now to 31 and change. I actually have this one on here, and I was wondering about the $30 there. Not wondering. What did I say there? I can't even read my own writing there. Watching $30. So if you call up here, I'm going to call a 20-minute chart right now quickly as I just continue to ramble on about nothing. This is it right here. So $30 held the last little bit. You get that flush out in the pre-market yesterday. We saw what happened there yesterday in the pre-market. It was disastrous. And then all day it caught a bid, right? So with this success, with their success, I am wondering about this 34 level now, possibly getting taken out. Forget about this downward move in this pre-market. I think that's all fake.
So DTSS here with an offering. I haven't seen the details, but obviously you can see the flush that it just put on right now. Look, it's almost 425 to 315 bottom. On this bounce, I kind of look for that halfway point usually, but we don't have shortable shares. So I'm going to see if I can get some locates on DTSS. That just hit a couple of minutes ago here. So big move down. It's only on a couple 100,000 of volume here, guys, but you see the big drop.
Pretty impressive to watch that rocket stick the landing, as always, for Blue Origin. Yeah, successful touchdown there for both the rocket and the capsule. So, yeah, congratulations to Jeff Bezos. AEHR here, guys, 11% again this morning. Remember, yesterday had this huge move. This actually happened in the aftermarket, so you kind of have to discount that, but you got to watch that high, 750 to 775, way up here. We're below that, obviously. If it gets back below 7, this thing has a long way to go. 6 would be the first stop, and then if you remember way back in the morning yesterday, this thing was like $4.50, $4. So a long way to go back to the downside, possibly. Otherwise, above that high, we could get going back to the upside for that AEHR, guys.
Lots of small caps to watch here, guys. So yeah, that DTSS, I was able to get some locates. I just quickly looked over at the, your 15-minute chart here. Well, that's the daily. Your 15-minute chart just to zoom in, and this was a crazy one yesterday. Oh my goodness! Now I can't scroll over. That's kind of weird. Whatever. That's really weird. Anyways, if we get back to this shelf, floor, I guess, like 380. You can sort of see it here. It was yesterday's afternoon support level. I kind of look to that as a bit of a resistance. So 380. I'm sitting at I just threw an offer in the 70s in case we pop to the upside on DTSS. So they just announced that offering. That just happened now. I'm also in that SCOCO. SGOC. I'll kind of show it in the 15-minute chart. Like we said, now I can scroll. That makes sense. That was that breakout that we looked at. I didn't add to it on that last little dip. I kind of think if we can sustain the move off the open, I'm looking towards this high here in front of that 1650. Remember, SGOC, every single time for like 4 days in a row, when it pops at 930, it reverses hard, and then that's basically whatever top it makes there, that's essentially the high of the day. Yesterday was about the most bullish of those recoveries. It kind of got a little bit past that in the aftermarket and one little spike in the afternoon. So that's what made me like the long, because I haven't loved it as much, but that's what made me like that long in the breakout. Hopefully it actually follows through a little bit here today, and SGOC is a name that can halt, especially after that on the open. We've seen it halt multiple times in the last couple of weeks here in the first 5 or 10 minutes. So do be careful trading SJOC. But for now, it looks like it's holding that 14 level pretty good. I just think 1650 on any break of 15, 1650 could be that kind of reverse point.
All right. What else we got on our list here? Palantir. Oh, I like the Palantir love today as well. Yeah, SCOCO. We're still waiting for that below top. Oh, yeah. What we were talking about was where to get out of this one. That's what it was when we were looking at SGCO here, because, again, and this is where we got sidetracked with Blue Origin there. But you can see here, this is the 20-minute chart, and it's been pretty consistent. I mean, whether or not you want to take a big hit on this and hold it to 10, I don't think that's very reasonable. It's at 14. That's 40% downside. I'd love to take a $4 winner, and I think I've taken on SGOC like a $9 winner before. So I think there's opportunities. It was back in this day, maybe it wasn't 9. Oh yeah, it was up to 18. So something in there anyways, or it was this day, but we've crushed this name. But you got to watch out for 14, I believe, or even this 13.22, whatever this bottom is here, 13.50 maybe is a decent out. So I'm not going to hold this thing anywhere past the mid 15s. We make enough money to not have to worry about it. But again, I'm in the position now. You guys know it's a pre-market spot for me. So this is not a very heavy trade percentage-wise. So we're going to wait for the market to open before we put on some real share size on anything. But 13.22 or 13. I might just use this 13.50 level, man. That cracks, we'll get out. So 13.50, there you go. And then so I just got to put the stop order in. Hopefully that doesn't happen in the next 2 minutes. Palantir, another strong move yesterday, man. Okay. Well, again, it's on my. Oh, I got to get rid of these. Hold on a second. Let me just get rid of these partial fills on my daily chart, make it look a little bit more pretty. There it is. So nice little bounce yesterday off Palantir. You can see it went down to 2021 and change yesterday before bumping back up. So I do like a 22 break on Palantir. I'm just going to get my SCOCO order ready to go in case we break 1350.
And the off chance it happens, we've talked about DD the last couple of days, and look, it's not done a ton of volume in the pre-market, but let's not forget this $11 level. It bounced off of 11, of course, is the all-time low. It's a recent IPO. It's bounced off 11.05 or just down there several times. Yesterday's action, we're kind of holding above, but not breaking the afternoon range. So when it bounced off 11, it never got further than 11.35. That's not a horrible breakout spot for DD. And then 11 even, I said it, if any point this week, if 11 goes, I'm going to be shorting a DD break at 11 even. But you got to look at this 11.35. It's pretty interesting. You get that hard bottom, then you get the afternoon, you get that afternoon low, and it's still setting up there for you to catch a little bit of a breakout. So I'm going to go 11.35 to the long side on DD. Looks like a good one, and for sure, no matter what, that 11 short looks good. And if there's like a million shares on the bid at 11, I'll probably scalp that.
Yo, shout out to Instinet Company here, as I have. Okay, this way, yeah, sure. Okay, Instinet here with a notepad, but I'm not going to switch. We're going to stick with the sticky notes, but just a shout out to Instinet there as we go. So, okay, WFC Neo. We'll check out WFC quickly, as that's an order that I have pending down near 42.50. So that could fill. We'll see if we can defend it. We'll look at yesterday's bottom of 42.30. So if it breaks that, I mean, if I get logged 42.50, my out's not going to be until we break 42. So there's a lot of love for that one. And then we do have another pending bid down lower on Neo. So that could get filled, man. That's at 43.20. That's right in year. So we'll see if Neo gets filled, and then I am going to be worried about these levels here, 42.30. So everything's going to be about $1 worth of risk. I mean, the market looked like crap yesterday, and we were falling, and it recovered slightly, then fell again, then recovered, then fell. So let's see what happens now. Up 0.34. I bet you it turns red at some point here on the open. So we're going to try to buy some dips and see if we can hold out for bigger wins with only 10 seconds to go.
And with 10 seconds to go, Ms. V is on the bell. You'll note, I mean, the market's holding up for now. Green, no, she's not. Oh my goodness, it's Randy, my bad. 3, 2, and 1. Randy, ring it. Wow.
Wow. Okay, when Randy is in the building, that's what happens. So, okay, so 43.21 now. We get that Neo print on the downside. We said that this was a worry for us here, so we're going to wait to see if it comes to 42.50, dropping out 42.30. So here we go, guys. A nice little runner for Neo. We're long. Let's see where we go from here.
Yeah, and CCL, no pop off the open. It just goes straight into that downside, so I'm going to cancel that offer now. 20 was an interesting level for us before. Also watching NVIDIA, which is essentially barcoding. I want to see it pop and then get a fade trade. That's what I wanted in CCL as well. But SCOCO just went below that 14, but interestingly enough, in yesterday's action, or at least every single day, the stock would be dropping hard. Almost the same thing is happening. You're going to get this pre-market bottom here, and if that doesn't hold, this thing is going to do the same thing it does every single day. So the long was initially good, and then SCOCO does the SCOCO thing. 1350 is the low of the day. That's the line in the sand for me. It looked pretty bearish, bullish, I should say, in the morning, and I just saw a bit of a turn, a bit at 1380. So this will be my last entry here. 1350 breaks. I'm out of SCOCO. It just looks so good. Even today, it decides to sell off at the open.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still in there. Let's see where it goes. You know, my level's same there, 1350. So we'll see if it goes now. SCOCO in the building. So also another stock that's in the building right now is NIO. Yeah, we took it. We're going to average in, you know, down here 42.70. We're going to see what happens if we do come to this bottom yesterday. Not 41. This bottom right here, 42.30 is a level that we're going to be looking at for NIO. We'll stay in that name until that does come through. And then we can quickly look. We talked about it. Well, let's just call it up, because ETHE here, we had Jeff Mendel on, so let's give him some love here on the OTC markets. It doesn't look like Ethereum. There's the dip down, so 1670 down to 1605. So whether or not you're watching Ethereum or not, we'll see that. And I did call NASDAQ to go red, but not that it's going red, but it's cut in half already from the open. So let's see where we go. Nice battle back here on SCOCO, man. This could make us a hell of a lot of money if it goes. So let's see if that's going to happen. The dream is still alive on SCOCO.
Yeah, I'll power it up for that one. I'll take some profit. What I get in at the bottom, I'll definitely take some of that out as it gets into VWAP. Anytime I hunt for a bit of a bottom pick, I'm going to always do that. I just got DTSS. Is it spiked up into that 380 area? Remember we talked about 380 there? We got 74. We're sort of sitting in the middle there. I might add to this one if you get some barcoding action, but I'll scalp this one off. They just announced the offering. It is short sell restricted. It doesn't mean you have to sit on the offer. It just means you can't hit the bid without an uptick. And that rollover, That 9:30 rollover, it
Let's
happened
go.
at 9:28 on NVIDIA. It's now down at 185.
Let's go,
Check
SCOCO.
that, 182, 182.
If we can get this SCOCO to go, guys, then this could be huge. I guess we just didn't touch 1480, no, because maybe, I don't know. I'm at 1490 there. I don't know if we touched that or not. But let's see if we go upside right now. A big win for me here if it goes, man. We didn't average in. We didn't get that bottom tick, but we're still holding everything. So this could be a good run for us here. So let's see if SCOCO wants to make that magic for us. And then also here, NEO. We're only in 2 names, man. We've been very, very patient. Yesterday, we had an absolute monster day. And we're 8 for 9, right? The only mistake we made was a space long. Check that back, and that was up huge. So let's see what NEO wants to do. Maybe we should have got some out when it approached view up there at 43.40. That's only 20 cents, but let's see if NEO can make the dream happen. If not, man, I mean, we'll lose on it for sure. 43.30 on the downside for NIO, guys. Come on, SCOCO. There it is. Through 15. So here we go. We're smoking on this one today. SCOCO, guys, hold it strong. Let's see how high we get going. What's up, B-Wick?
All right, initial move here, guys, on Peloton to the downside, trying to bounce, though. 124 held there. Big volume came in on the buy side, around 124 for Peloton.
Oh, we're going to walk on water. We just got some out at 15 on SCOCO, so that 13.85.4 dip, going to take a nice little winner there, but it's starting to reverse a little bit. I like the fact that it finally caught a bid in the morning, but look at Moderna. 328 we just got to. So, I mean, at some point I was saying this could be an interesting fade if it just goes absolutely parabolic, because the last couple of days it's been going ape, you know what. I just tried to catch a little bit of a turn off 327. I don't want to chase it too far, but if this is the top, I mean, I can see this one coming back a few dollars. NVIDIA, on the other hand, we don't want to get too far away from this. I had 4 prices I liked for a spike up and then a reversal. It broke the first, never got to the second, and then you're going to see that flush. As it comes back to the pre-market low 185, I kind of prefer VWAP in here. If it gets to 186, VWAP doesn't really matter, but 186 was a bit of a shelf as well. So if it does any kind of a pop, I want to play into that weakness. Was able to get some of that DTSS out. This one was a late entry. It's an offering. It was doing some volume. So we played into that one, showed you the 380 level, got 74, scalps them out at 65. I'll take the rest out in front of 350 and then get away from that. But right back to the bottom. This is why we take some profit on SCOCO. This is what this thing does, man. I'm telling you, it's absolutely crazy how often, I mean, every single day, this thing will pop at the opener at some point and then just runs into an absolute brick wall. We're able to get some at 15 there, and then it's bottomed again around that 1350. I didn't catch this bottom the second time through because I was over trying to get some shares in Moderna and trade that. But wow, SCOCO, it's just an unbelievable roller coaster ride, that stock.
Yeah, loving that ride up for SCOCO. So we'll just keep riding it back and forth and around there. SCOCO. Let's check out WFC, what it's trying to do today. I did have Palantir up. Yeah, let's go back over to Palantir, as I have no idea if my charts are even going to work. Okay, so we like that 2150 level. But again, remember how when we don't like Palantir, when it trades against the NASDAQ? So right now, Palantir is trading against it, right, to the downside. So we can look. Maybe I'll just do another 3-minute chart here. I'm just so nervous about changing the charts. Okay, so yesterday's dip down, we talked about that down to 2050. What a gift horse that was down there. So now we'll wait to see where we go here. Yesterday afternoon, 2130. These are some good buy levels. I'm actually a little more interested if we get down to 2120. So let's buy a little bit now, and then we'll see about 2120. So we're going to buy a little bit of Palantir here on this dip down because I think it's worth it.
This feels like, so NRBO here just spiked hard at the open into 450. I mean, I liked $5, and I said that to you guys, it's a level that made sense to me, but spiked, failed break 450. If it does not hold that top, this is one of those breaks where you get a failure like that, it could end up being short all day long. Gets back below this like 435-ish area without a retest, I might take a shot at it. If it takes the top, I'm still looking for $5 to be that absolute high. I don't want to get away from, we talked a couple of names here. One of them, Tesla, just dipped down to like 647. So a little bit of weakness coming into Tesla. I don't know if it's like full blown find a bottom yet, but I'm watching that Tesla pretty closely as well as it starts to dip down. Then NIO, look, I liked it for a breakout trade. Never, look, it obviously didn't do the breakout, but you start thinking back, and we talked about where that support might be. First level gone. This is like 4250. If it gets anywhere close to that, might have to bottom pick that. And SCOCO, yeah, it's holding at 14. Not doing a heck of a lot. I think that next one is going to be that NRBO. That looks pretty spicy.
Yeah, we're right now, we're just, we're doing the same thing that we always do every day pretty much. And I mean, that's not true. We do things differently every day. But what we're looking for now is this Palantir. So let's see if we can get this to go. So we just bought it here at 21.48. We're looking at these bottoms here, 21.30. Remember what I just said though? When this is down, I mean, this is why it's not like a big position right now. We'd like to average in if we can, and I'll do that down here in the 30s. You're gonna see it come through right now, so hopefully soon. And but we are looking to get back out here around the 60s or 70s a little bit here. If the NASDAQ does run, then we can have this. But remember, Palantir will fall. Like if the NASDAQ falls and you already have this negative correlation, Palantir, and by the way, remember about 5 minutes ago when I said the NASDAQ will go red? Man, I got to start trading some of the Qs or the futures here. Okay, 21.38. I'm still looking at this 21 level even on the downside. I'll average in all the way down to 21. But with this market, oh, shoot, man, why did we not do that? We said, Brendan, that the market would turn red today, but we didn't do anything about it. What's up, bud?
AstraZeneca, guys, trying to go here. Moderna, obviously, the big mover, but another vaccine name, AZN. Big volume more the story than the moves. Yes, 1.4%, but held 57 there on a big volume spike for AZN.
Oh my goodness. Moderna's going to retest that 330 top there, but I just got into that NRBO. Gets below that previous pre-market high. Looks good for that little short trade, so I catch it, and then looks like we're retesting the high. But DD, look, I mean, yeah, DD, we said at some point 11 was going to happen. 11 has happened, and then I got it here. Gonna scalp some out of this DD trade. 11 break, I mean, whatever. We waited for this break for quite some time. There was no gigantic bid to be able to play off of there, but we'll catch the DD break. I got 96s, so I had to pay down a little bit. This one goes. There's no levels on DD, by the way. So I'm gonna get a bunch out in front of 1075. I'll get a bunch out if it goes to 1050, and then from there maybe try to hold on to it. But like with any recent IPO, you don't have a lot of price action to work off of. And as usual, there goes DD all the way to the gates of hell. Like, I'll tell you this right now, I was very, very close. I already own Uber, so it kind of stinks because they're gonna take a hit on this. I actually don't want to look at Uber stock today. So we'll celebrate the DD win, but obviously, I almost bought this stock in the long term. I was probably a day away from doing so, and then every single day, more and more headlines. 11 was a break we had to have, so we'll be pretty happy here to successfully get a good trade out of it. Although I feel for anyone that bought this IPO, they probably shouldn't have come to market, but I'm not the only one that actually said that. To come back over to NRBO, because it's easier to manage a winner, so I don't have to worry about that DD. This one, yeah, that tested. I mean, I missed that rollover here to catch more shares when 450 fell because I was looking and managing that DD trade, but that really tested that top. Now I think we're pretty solid. I got a 34 short on. If that's a failed break through high of the day and at 450, then this thing could be headed right back down to that 4 range. But is it crazy to look a gift horse in the mouth at VWAP? Of course it is. I don't do that. I'm going to take some out here at VWAP. We'll regroup. If it retests 450, get a better price in around 445 or so if it pops, and then go high of day as my out. Because if it breaks 455 now, then I got to start thinking about that $5 coming into play.
Okay, guys. While Neil was gone, swish, swish. While Neil was there, I was still here too. And then now we got a nice little move there. So we were able to buy more Palantir, just as we said, guys. Look where we got it, 21.33. I mean, this is the thing. Like, hopefully some of you were able to get that. And again, I don't know how you're trading, but sometimes we'll scalp these out. You just saw Neil take the scalp on a piece of it. We're gonna take a scalp on this a little bit as well. Averaged in, so we took double the shares here at 32 that we did our initial move. So again, that's part of it. I got to see the NASDAQ start to bounce a little bit here. So we take double the shares downside that we took right here, giving us the opportunity to make money on this. Now we're right back to where I got in. So hopefully this can just continue to travel upside. This is just going to be another, hopefully, knock on wood, another big win here. What's up, Beep?
Another one in the vaccine group, guys. Novavax, the latest to pop up on a volume scanner. 225 there, huge level for this thing. You can see monster volume came in. We're trying to clear some of these highs for Novavax as well.
And I'll come right back to that NRBO. The plan of action sort of still holds here, but I'm glad we got some of the VWAP. There's no bounce. I said I would take more shares if it gets to 445. It might be only heading downside. I got a bid in front of 415, so we'll make sure we capture some of that. I can tell you this SJOC, which I only hold like the last of my shares we got in, so it's only that last little 10%. holding above 1350. So no flush just yet, but it's still holding below VWAP, which it's done just about every single day we've watching it. And then MRNA, I was waiting for it to test that top and see if it had any failure at 330. It just broke 330, went up a couple of dollars, and for now, looks like it wants to hold. Man, this is, I don't know, it's the strongest stock I can actually find on my board. Kind of ridiculous. I thought there'd be a selling opportunity on at least one of these pops. No mas. Short Moderna at your own peril. I guess maybe below like a 325 would make some sense, but that's a ways away now.
Well, we all know why. Today, Moderna gets added, 74 million shares added to the S&P, so no surprise, Moderna's strength, but tomorrow will be a different story, mark my words. Okay, Palantir still upside. Ford, we talked about this. Where's Randy? There's Randy. I mean, I just messaged him, like, are we buying this thing or not? He said we're buying, but no, we just missed it. 1.6% now in ripping. Again, we've been loving Ford long time around here. I'm long at 6, I'm long at 11. We did send out firing warning shots right here at 16 that it was overextended. Now it pulls back. We get below the 50-period moving average. We've seen this happen before. This is when we bought it. So right now, looking to buy this again here. Ford looking to break through 1350 on a little bit of momentum. It just did break it up to 1355 in the pre-market. So I think a 1350, there it goes. I was going to say, I think a 1350 break, probably reasonable. But Ford does have the tendencies to pull back in a little bit. So be careful with Ford. Ethereum right now, not much really happening. 1738, that 17 has held. If you look at a daily chart here for Ether, we've talked about this over and over again. That 17 has been pretty key, man. Like, look at this, 1700 touches it back in May, touches it in June, touches it in July. So let's see, man, hands off, no touching until about 1500. Cardano's chilling out at 103. We did buy some more at 105, but not nearly as much as I want to buy at some point. I got to get more shares in on, or coins in, shares in on ADA. What up, B?
Neural Metrics, another little one moving here, guys. They got FDA breakthrough device designation for a fibromyalgia wearable device. So NURO up big time, guys, on volume.
Another one doing some pretty good volume. Like we said, NRBO, the plane crash continues. And when we got that first entry and it bounced off VWAP, I said, let's get it back. It bounced off VWAP. I want a better price. We'll take some in the 40s. It ticks up to 442. Again, some off VWAP, then 445. Sitting on about a 30-cent winner now. I look to this 390 area. I'll take some out in front of that, then hold the rest for pre-market lows. Which is all the way down here at 365. Now, originally when I sat down, I was looking 365 break. Obviously, something different has happened here. You can kind of see that. If 365 wants to go, I'll hold on to a piece of it. I think it could be a good add, but a long ways away from that happening. Still have a chance to hold what would be an upward trend here, guys. If it puts in a higher low above $4, it can always base out at 420. So we got to be very particular about the shorts and when it's still kind of an upward trend on that NRBO. No actionable news on this stock. That's why I preferred the fade trade.
All right, actionable news right over here. AMC Rip City now. Let's see where it goes. We finally get into it, breaking through 36.50. We waited for it to take out the day's high. We got out right away there at 70, so that's a quick 20 cents. Well, actually 15 cents. We actually paid up. We got to 55. We got 55s on the 50 break. So a nice little move up there. We take instantly 20 cents or whatever it is to the upside. Now it's 20 cents in the money. So AMC now trying to go. So we're long here. AMC 50-period moving average up to 39.50. That'd be pretty sweet if we get there. Looking at some action. I'll always try to call up a 20-period for you guys here on AMC. 30, I mean, this is a high level there, 38, 37 in change. Where did we get to yesterday? Nothing. What are these peaks right here? 37, 34, some stop and goes at 37. So let's take another piece off at 37, but it looks like we got another banger for you right now as the money coming in on AMC, guys. What's up, Brendan?
The other one, or another one, I should say, starting to go here as well. Newegg, remember NEGG just popped up here big time as well, 17% on volume, guys.
Oh, Newegg's got to go back on that list. Don't get too far away from some of those names that have popped before. Keep them on your watch. Just got that next leg out at NRBO off that low at $4. It's now about 45 cents in the money, so it's going pretty well. On the march back to the upside is going to be NVIDIA here, guys. So NVIDIA went all the way down to like a 181 handle. The rollover trade was good if you managed to get it, but look, we can say 930 rollover and not catch it. It's going to be what it is. If it gets back in, I think to that floor at that 186, that was the first level we looked at. I want to get back to DTSS in a moment, but Moderna has checked up at 332. Nvidia now getting back into that 186 level we wanted to have it earlier. Let's see if it doesn't turn. If it slows down at any point at 186, I want to catch a bit of a fade play here in Nvidia, and still watching for the first sign of weakness on Moderna as well.
Okay, so who's got AMC? 2 thumbs. This guy right now. So AMC looking to break through 37 now. I finally found, by the way, I found my lucky pen. It went missing for a while, so I found the lucky pen. I just like it's metal. It goes in and out like that. I think, yeah, someone, yeah, I know, it was you. I know you weren't here yesterday, but it was Mark or Sparky. Maybe you might have found that one. Okay, so now we'll go to the upside here. 660 now. Here goes AMC, guys. A nice little run to the upside right now. Still going. We can see a 37. Let's see, is there any size at 37? Not really. So here we go. We're going to march to the upside right now. This has been a monster day for me. One more time, guys. Palantir, 15 cents in the money on decent shares. Big time shares, actually. 21.50 now coming through. Where do I have my outs, man? 58? Okay. Thinking of higher sides now. Look at Palantir as we start to go. So it's a chicken dinner winner here. We told you that we don't like Palantir when it's not with the NASDAQ, but we saw it tick down. We were able, I mean, that gave us the buying opportunity right there. There's an out right there of 49. Let's see if we get 58s. We're rocking right now, man. NEO nicely in the money now, back from the dead. Where was my bid down there, Sean? NEO back from the dead. Palantir, 20 cents in the money. AMC, 55 cents now in the money. We did talk about that 37.30 level. Man, this is a good day one more time. Let's just spin that wheel and see what happens if it comes up jackpot or not. Let's see. I have a good feeling about this one. Here we go, and it is a jackpot. Yes, what a good day it's been so far. Let's go.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. We have a good story about that. We can. I love that. It's an old game. Look, Randy's all over because we're all old. We actually know what that is. Nvidia off that 186. We didn't catch it. Look, obviously it's better the first time. Like, I get that. So we catch that level the second time through. It tries to break VWAP and hold. The second I see that 184.50 a bounce, I'm taking a scalp trade off. You also look at it, previous low. This cluster here failed to break back below that and hold. I'm going to definitely take profit, about a 60 or 70 cent win. I want to hold the rest to see if it can't get at least down to like a 183 area, somewhere in the 183 to 183.50 range. You got to watch out for Nvidia. It's a pure momentum play here. At any point, you can catch a nice little turn because the market is trying to get its gears back into the upside. NRBO still sits in the money. DD still sits in the money. It's just SCOCO, which is trying again to get off of the low here. I've resisted averaging back into it, but look, it's starting to form a nice little cluster here around this 1380 area and bounce off it. So I might dig back in. We actually got 1384 down here at that little bottom. I think around that price, maybe 90 to 95 could be a re-entry because every single time at the open, this thing is flushed and not recovered. This is about as strong as SCOCO has looked after failing at the open, as I've seen all week. So I think it could be worth it to try to get back into this one, see if we can't get that nice little long one more time here on SCOCO. Miss V is at the big screen. What do you have?
Hey Neil, Carver Bancorp is up more than 12%. Could you guys give us a review on Carve stock?
That's back in play. So Carver, not U1, but the last time it was a pure meme play. Okay, so I don't know if my volume is correct here, but I'm seeing 300,000 shares worth of volume on Carver. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty small. Okay, I get it. It's got a little bit of a move here, but that's pretty tiny. 300,000 shares is not a lot of actionable shares. It just spiked up into yesterday's high, which also corresponds to Friday's afternoon resistance level. So, I mean, I don't know, like it would have to break pretty hard on volume over 1820. But with that little volume, breaking a high like that after a spike seems pretty unlikely to me. As a day trader, I stay away from volume that low. I mean, I think we all do on a Carver. When you have, I mean, everything else I'm looking at, 30 million on NRBO, it's done. DD's done 6 million. I mean, basically everything is a little bit more active here today. SCOCO, of course, doing more shares as well. So count me out for Carver. It'd be hard for me to understand how it would sustain a breakout of the high on volume like this. So I'd be very, very careful if you bought into this long.
You know, it's up to Damien Project as he goes, yeah, good old Carve right there. So we'll see about that one. We crushed Carver and Skoko. We crushed a lot of these names, in the past. I mean, that's why I'm sure he's saying it. But right now, I mean, I'm just focused on a few names here, guys. Neo, downside, we try to pick some, like I miss it again. Like, where is my bid here? 42.60. Oh, come on, Sean, you can't wait at the very bottom. So we'll adjust that a little bit, see if we get some more in on Neo. And then AMC right now, yeah, we're still back to day's high right now. We're long at, I mean, it's $1 now. I mean, it's, well, 75 cents now in the money. On AMC, it did rip almost to $1 there. It's 37.33. So that high, here it comes right now, 70 cents in the money. On Neo, on AMC, that's a good one. Man, Sean, maybe you got to pick up some Neo right now. We'll probably do that. Palantir does fade back in, but we got some more out there. 49's twice or 3 times out there at 49. So hopefully that one can retrace back. Look at this, a little bit. I mean, this is what we talked about. A little bit of a movement down here in the NASDAQ sends Palantir tumbling, guys. So just be very, very careful. I'm a buyer of Palantir, not in my long-term account until 20-ish. So a little bit lower than this, and we'll put some of that in our pipe. What's up, Brendo?
Another little one going crazy, guys. Support.com, SPRT, just halts to the upside here. Big volume. You can see what it did yesterday compared to this. Huge volume to the upside for support.com, SPRT.
Yes, sir. We're gonna add that one to the list for sure. And Amurzing. Did I mention DTSS? I absolutely did. We right after they announced, of course, the offering. Well, I mean, not right after we got to it, and we said one level. We said 380, and I just want to kind of show this as a 15-minute chart here, guys. You can see I just looked at previous shelf. In yesterday's afternoon, support turns into resistance. That is a 380 bottom you can see there. We said if it pops into 380, I will short it. Got 74 short, scalps them out for 10 pennies, scalps them out at that 350 level. It's sort of gradually going to the downside rather slowly, but that was the look we had for DD. Now that it's barcoding, not really interested in it. We made our trade. We'll walk away. I finally get back into Skoko, and I'm like the kiss of death. Right, so instead of waiting for 13.90, I just add to it when it tried to break back above 14. Was looking pretty solid here. I still have my out that 13.50 level. Kind of feels like the party could be over. The original break was good. The dip down at 13.80 was great. And once again, Skoko cannot seem to get out of the way. Bit of a bid at 13.50. If it holds. Oh, why is that on DTSS still? If it holds, I want to see if I can add to it. If it's going to hold, come on, give me a break. SGOC. Group link should work. If it holds this, and maybe add to this one at least a little bit to the upside, but Skoko looking like it wants to give up some of those gains from earlier. I'd love to be able to get back in if it pops to like 13, maybe like 70 or so. But that bid, not gigantic, and Skoko doing that thing that it does.
Yes, sir. Okay, we're going to wait on, so we are now short NVIDIA finally. So we've been talking about wanting to get this NVIDIA short for a while.
Nice.
I sold out yesterday. It seems like that's going to be a good idea. So we'll hit the siren for that one. Hopefully you guys were able to do some of that as well yesterday. And the reason why, again, the same reason why. We just thought that off the split, it's obviously not down 75%, but off the split yesterday, it opens up 190 today. We're down already to 183. Who knows where this goes, man? My out's going to be up here 186. So we crack through 186 or so. I believe that's what I put. I'll have to double check. Yeah, exactly. So we crack through 186. We'll get out. That's basically the high of this move right here. 185.80 is actually the move. If you want to get a little more conservative, maybe 185 where VWAP is right here. But for right now, we'll hold this one and we'll see if we can't catch a nice little win here on NVDA to the downside. Looking to make days low here, 180, 150 maybe is where we'll get out some if we can. What's up, Brendo?
One from the list this morning, guys. Earnings name, IBM, just popping up day highs. Almost got to 145 there. Tried to get up to 145 after we broke that high from aftermarket yesterday, guys, on better than expected earnings.
And look, it's a good thing you mentioned it there, Sean. I actually forgot. I actually just got out of the NVIDIA position, so I'll report that one to you guys. Said about that 183 to 183.50 area on that short off of 186. So missed it on the downside. Simply looked at it and we said, okay, if it pops back in there, we'll take the shot. I got 185 half. 185 like 48 or so was the actual price. We'll take that out. If it comes back to the upside now, I don't know if I'd look at 186 again. I'd probably be talking about that opening range top where I think it could put in a little bit of a failure. From that one to SGOC, which it did add back into, it held 1350. Now it's testing those lows again because that's what it does. And then back over to DD, which not ignoring DD. DD is just, it goes right back up to my entry of 1096, that 11 even break. Fails twice I don't add to it because I'm getting distracted, but I should have been back in this at like 94, 95. I do not look the gift horse in the mouth when it falls down again. I take some out in front of that 75 level. Entirely possible. These outs here down around, like my last out at the bottom there was 73. That might be as good as it gets. If it eventually retakes 11 even, I want no part of still being short. Candidly, I still have like 20% of the position on because I actually thought we'd break down towards 1050. That's not happening, but I will not let this one turn red. I don't want this thing to be breaking 11 on me, so I'll put a stop in there at 11 even. Whereas before on the break, I would have given it to at least that 10 level. No more. If it wants to go past that 11 mark, that all-time low, it's the recent IPO, at all-time low, I will be covering DD. Great trade, but didn't go quite as far as I thought. We'll take the winner, but I thought it'd be way weaker than that. Brendo?
This one had a bit of a bounce back day yesterday, guys, but remember Alphi just popping up here through 13. It's a resurgent day for some of these names because lots of volume coming in anyways. But yeah, nice day yesterday, just trending all day to the upside. Back through 13 here for Alf.
Yeah, Alf is doing big things. A shout out to John Mark there on the chat. And we love all our members, guys, for $5 a month. It's easier for us to see, and we like to call out some of our members there. So it's just a way to support the channel. Thank you so much, John Mark, for bringing that to our attention. And thanks to Brendan for showing us the chart there of Alf. So let's go over there and have a quick look at it. Alphi right now, 13 and change. Let's see if there's a tradable thing here. We're still holding on to our SCOCO, and we'll see how low that one wants to go. It looks like it's going pretty low. Alpha right now breaking 13.30 here. What have we done in the past? So I remember this name, of course, up to 22 just recently. Had a big dump off. They're rewarding. Anybody stuck long here, this is your opportunity to maybe get out if you are stuck long, but it is starting to move one more time. So I don't really see anything in this area. Maybe let's wait for a halt or something until we trade some Alpha right now, okay? Palantir, we did get some more out there, which I don't know why we didn't have a bid down there. So now we've corrected that. We've put a bid back in for that name. NVIDIA, we're out of the money $1. That's fine. We'll wait to see where we go. I'm trying to average into this name as well, but we'll wait to see on NVIDIA. Now making moves back to the upside. We take this trade understanding that it's going to be a wild one, and especially if the NASDAQ continues to go up. I mean, this NVIDIA and Apple, I mean, those are two monster names in the NQ. So just be very, very careful there. If you wait on that one, we'll see what's going to happen. Holy shoot. Darn it. Why didn't I short this damn thing earlier? I wasn't even like, when we said we're watching the 30 level on our sticky note, we didn't think it would come this fast. All the way downside now, breaks that 30, goes to 29.75. So now we can have a look here to see what's going to happen with space now. If it breaks that bottom, then there's a problem. 29.72. I like that short now that we've missed this 30. Remember, this can rip your face off though. So you got to get out if it breaks through 30.50. So a well-planned trade here maybe. 29.70 downside and or a 30.50 break upside. So let's wait to see what happens here. But so far, so good. If you were short, space down that 7%. Wow, it's been a nasty run the last couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the only phrase I have for Virgin Galactic is it's a short until it's not. There's no better way to put it. I still have I still have my bid for the potential break here in CCL. I mean, it's just got off the low. You're seeing the ES run to the upside, but that 2035 does stand out for a nice little potential breakout price there at CCL, up 2%. So the recovery is on for some of these names at least. Still got DD, still got that NRBO, but SCOCO 13.50, that bid is trying desperately to hold. Brendan mentioned that Spirit, SPRT. Wowzers. This is why we talk about the danger of some of these halt trades, guys. This one came back in really fast. I actually tried to let me get those locates, and then before I even had a chance after it opened back up, it rejected hard. Another push down. You're going to be now down at 520. So take your profits on some of these runners when you get a chance. No one ever went broke taking profit is the best I can say there. And it's a perfect example of it here on that name. And then Moderna still making this nice move to the upside. 335, the new top. I'm looking for a re-entry into NVIDIA, but that's not quite giving me that look. Moderna at some point I'm going to try putting a bit of a short trade on. I remember watching the Tesla action when it got added, and there were plenty of actionable trades throughout the day that I think I missed out on only looking at the close. I don't want the same thing to happen on mRNA, but it's 10 o'clock. Oh my goodness, already past 10 o'clock. Let's go to Brendan for Happening Now.
Hey guys, yeah, still nicely positive here overall for markets. We'll have a look at how things stand at this point. I'll point out the tech group here. NASDAQ opposite in the 100, fading off ever so slightly, 0.45, 0.24 now to the downside, or to the upside still for tech stocks. It's the Dow that's leading. If you remember, yesterday was the Dow that was leading to the downside, back to highland here, 1.3% for the Dow, the S&P 0.85 at this point, the Russell small cap 0.6. Here in Toronto, we're up about 0.85% on the day. So nicely positive. A few things we were talking about in the pre-market this morning on the list, guys. Big banks. Look at this move on JP Morgan. Nice bounce back today. 148 was that high from the pre-market. We're up to almost 149. Straight to the upside for JP Morgan through that high. Same story for Tesla. Opposite direction, though. We cracked that 650 level in the pre-market, or pre-market support, I should say, down to 642 for Tesla. So opposite directions, but pretty clean moves on those, guys. Back to you.
Sorry.
So Randy just came back with Timbits, and that was way quicker than I thought. So me and Neil both now have tons of Timbits in our mouth. This is the problem when Randy comes through, guys.
Yeah, obviously, sorry about that. I love Timbits. Randy, stop doing that to me. Got a reports go, I'll do this to that stock. It breaks at 1350, so the original pre-market long was okay. Sorry, I'm still chewing a little bit here.
Okay,
we got the long at 1380, and then now we just broke 1350. I think it's a short on every single pop. Whoa, I just got Peloton, so that must have come back in pretty hard.
All right, let's go, guys. Space right now, bang, for a nice little win right here for Space. Downside right now as we go. Man, Randy's always up to no good. Okay, 29.70 there, and by no good, I mean he's feeding us Timbits. You guys know donut holes. I think are they called donut holes? I think at Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. We don't have any Dunkin' Donuts here in Canada, so shout out to anybody that wants to open up a franchise. 29.73 downside right now. It's probably a policy thing for Dunkin' Donuts. Like Target was here, they realized that they can't charge. Anyways, we'll talk about Target after. 29.70 to the downside right now. Beautiful short we have on. We've already taken it out twice. Once at 12s, once at O's. Now we'll wait to see where we go to the downside now on Space. We have this. We want to go shorter on this name. As we said, we're bidding 29.85. See if we can't catch a little bit on that one. So we'll wait to see Space. Hopefully that can continue to the downside. We didn't get, for some reason, we didn't get our average in on NVIDIA there, 185.50. It basically, no, sorry. Yeah, it should have been 184.50. I think I put the wrong price there on my average in. So, but anyways, it goes to 185. That's normally, like, I honestly, I did think I had an offer here, but it was actually up here, which makes no sense because my out is 186. So I'd probably, if I got that fill, I would have got taken out most likely. But here it comes right back downside. So just to let you know, that would have been a good reload there at 185. Let's see if NVIDIA can fall. We did sell our NVIDIA shares yesterday. We talked about why that was. I hope that made sense to you. Now you're seeing it go down to the downside. So congratulations, anybody so far that rang the register with me yesterday on NVIDIA. And it's not like it's that crazy. I mean, I got out at 745. You can see here, 183 times 4. So 732 basically today. So we save ourselves a little bit. But I do want to get back in. I'm already pretty heavy in AMD. I guess my AMD and NVIDIA holdings now are probably equal given the fact that we are out of some NVIDIA here. So let's see where it goes. People yelling about Ford. We should have had Ford early, man. We talked about that in the pre-market. Jeez, darn it. Yeah. Randy, that's enough. Yeah, Ford, big time out. Did you buy Randy in the pre-market? Oh, you did in the pre-market. Look at you. Okay, so Randy controlling things here, but the point is that Ford now to the upside. We've liked that. I like that much better than Tesla right now. So Ford, a nice little move to the upside. And we've averaged into Palantir, but again, it's not a big position. We're going to wait. I mean, we've already emptied some out there. Well, we did get that 58A. Okay. But right now, Palantir, we're looking at a 21 break from yesterday. So I don't know, my charts are not doing pretty good here, but 21.15, there we held 21. So we're average long into this name until 21, guys. That is Palantir.
And I got that Peloton. We talked when the news broke, it got all the way up to like a 128 in the pre-market there. And I said I'd be shocked if it traded below that 120 level. So I stuck in front of it, just like 121 and a quarter, well, 121.26, same thing. If it breaks that 120 even, we'll just take like the $1.25, $1.50 hit, whatever it works out to be. I'm going to take some out in front of this cluster. If it gets back to VWAP, that's a good return there. It'll already be like a 2-to-1. If you can hold on to some, maybe like a 125, but I'd like to see us sustain the move to the upside in the market, obviously. I mean, the NASDAQ Trailing the ES just a little bit here. So basically flat on Peloton as it tries to bounce, but that was the trade I was looking for when it snapped back into this price area. Whether I got it in the morning or later on in the afternoon, I think it would have been perfectly fine. That SCOCO continued to go to the downside, but that NRBO, NRBO, not to ignore this name. Now we did say, come on, let's go. We did say we're going to take some out in front of that low of the day. It broke 4. It has not gotten to that 365. Now, I was originally, when I sat down, going to short a break of 365. I still like that concept. At this point, if it breaks 4 even, I think there's going to be a chance to short around 420. I do not ever want this thing taking out the high of the day, but I wouldn't even hold this all the way past like a 425. I think I'd be using VWAP for an entrance here to get some more shares, and then from that point on, go tight stop, because if it breaks 25, I kind of think we'll get another shot at that 455. So even though it's in the money, got a plan of action just in case we get that reversal. That's what I'm always thinking about. And flip, there we go. Moderna just turned off of 335, but still can't make a big retracement. It's on an upward trend. If it makes a consolidation off this 35, it actually had a couple of failed breaks of 35 up here. I think it has a decent shot that will give you back into VWAP. So as it pops into this 35 level, I'm just looking for a turn off of, like 333 half, 334, something in that range with a good risk to reward. And I'll try my hand in the Moderna short for the first time in a long time.
First time. Okay, yeah, we'll wait to see here what we're going to do here for the first time as well. Space. So we did go short there, not for the first time, not for the last time. Let's wait to see where we can go from here on SPCE, but we did take that bottom short. So yeah, we did cover some at 91s, but that did break higher there into 31 more times. So that's a position that we do have now. New one sort of into our spot here, Space, as it's continuing to go upside right now. So our out's going to be at that 30-50, so be very, very careful if you are into this now. You don't have to be careful. I think it'll be fine, but that is Moderna, Space right now. We're averaging this short. We've already cashed out of it. It was actually a pretty good trade for us, so we'll wait to see now what happens with Space to the upside. We're still looking at that 30-50 break spot there to get out. So we'll hold on to this one. It's been a little bit of a mover, obviously, needless to say. So this is what happens to NEO. It comes all the way back, so we get in, it comes all the way back up. We're able to take a profit on that part, right? Average price right here. So we take an average price win on NEO. So it's going to show up as a winner for us so far. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch. NEO making new bottoms here. We'll see. No, Randy, we can't have any more until we have time. No, Randy. We'll get away from there right now. But NEO right now, looking at that 42.30 bottom is a spot for us on NIO, guys.
So pray for me. I just went short Moderna for the first time. 334 half, 334.49. We're able to just get up there. I mean, the top is a 35 break, maybe that quarter mark, because that's where it got before. So look, it's a relatively tight stop. It's a risk reward that I like here, and it breaks the high. Like, that's the thing. I'm willing to make top wick there. I'm willing to take that shot. It'll be the first hit we take. And what I like about it, well, I mean, you never like taking a hit. But I could have been short this thing like multiple times, but I waited for it to make an actionable top that I liked. If I made the top wick there and it goes down, you got to be willing to do it. It's counter trend on literally the strongest stock that I can find. Someone, maybe you can find something else that's stronger than Moderna. I don't know, but the chart looks pretty good here. So take the first hit. We'll go back to Beyond Meat in a quick second, but I got to take you guys to Brennan at the desk.
Another one to look at, guys. L Brands nicely higher so far today, up about 5%. Coming into big levels, though. There was a couple of upgrades on LB today, and they also increased their current quarter guidance, so up about 5%. LB.
Okay, so we're bidding, L Brands. We like that for numerous reasons. 42.50 coming down now. I just missed that. Like, I just put a bid there at 42.48. So we'll see if we can get that now. Coming obviously here on NIO. So we'll see if we can get that one. 42.58. I don't mind a reload. The bottom's been here. We're going to play off 42 bottom. So this is not a bad spot for us, but names still to come here in NIO. If the NASDAQ wants to continue to fall, this will be a loser, but we are long right now at 42.97. We talked about that average. We were able to get a little bit out, showing some profit on the board for NIO, but it's not really a profitable name as we are sitting here 40 cents out. NVIDIA, so here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. We can't show the daily chart. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, now we have, oh yeah, that's right. Even the 1 minute's going to be a problem. So we're right back up here near VWAP again. I think this is worth taking one more shot here on NVDA short side, guys.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, where's NVIDIA now? Oh, right back to VWAP again. What an interest. That's such a good pattern. I mean, the price action's pretty good there on that one. DD is still holding 11 even. There's no size in the offer, but trust me when I tell you, they're still managing, or well, somebody's still managing it to hold it down there. I'm pretty close to getting first leg out here, just right at this little cluster, or at least the bottom of that cluster, and that's on Peloton. We'll take the dollar win there on Peloton. The second the news dropped, the only plan of action I had was to buy in front of 120. We got 121 quarters. We'll take a dollar. We'll see if it can't bust VWAP and get up to 125 here. I'd probably take it out around that 124 mark, or 124.25. Somewhere in between 24 and 25 is where I want to be able to get out of it, wherever it reverses. But sometimes you look for that positive news on a trending stock, and then where would any dip likely slow down? I mean, if it's going to break out from those prices, you already have pre-market highs there. I like that for the retracement. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it's going to work out for you. That's why I like that setup. Just to come back to one that I apologize if we never got to this one. I feel it was on our watch list. IMNM, I believe, was on our watch list, like 99% sure. This did that spike fail at the open, and I'm telling you, so you get a breakout, fail at 25. Anytime I see that setup, I kind of start thinking about short for the rest of the day. Although it has not broken this level here. This is like a 2025 holding that bottom. If it holds it throughout the session, watch for it to make a breakout at some point in the afternoon, whether it's at 3:15 for us or like 1:30 or 2:30. I'd be watching out for it. But I'll be playing the short every single pop into VWAP now that it's back on my radar. I missed this one here at 22. I'll play it around that price if it gets there again. Use that 22.50 as a bit of an out and see if there aren't some scalp wins here. And that's a $2 range that you'd be scalping, by the way. So this is a $20 stock. It's going to move a bit on you. So understand that, $20, a 22 short, you're risking 50 pennies. You're not taking it out for a 20-cent win on this thing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you got to be very, very careful. We're reloaded, and it's a good one here, I think, anyways. A nice little reload on Palantir. Not I think. I mean, the price will tell me that it's a good one. As we reloaded up here, rate the same price again, 33s, guys. So now we're long Palantir 33s, and there's the out again. Like, this is all we've been doing today. Reloading all of these longs. Like I said, this position, I mean, it could have got nasty if it kept falling down, but didn't. So that was, let's just say that was 100 shares, that this was 300 shares. So it was 3 times the position. No, sorry, it was double the position. So this spot there, we put it on the same spot again. So now we go to the upside and we're just sort of cashing out here dimes on Palantir. Our last out was actually 12 cents. So a nice little move upside. Like, it's not a huge move, but with the NASDAQ not really doing anything right here, I don't think that there's a problem doing this. So we'll wait to see what happens right now for Palantir, as it's right now to the upside goes Palantir, sorry. I want to make sure I put the right order on the right stock there. We will take another bid, but look at the NASDAQ coming down. That reminds me of NVIDIA. So we reloaded that one as well. So okay, I'm reloaded. Now we'll see what it comes down to the downside right now, 183.50. So our average price, 183.60. So we'll see if NVIDIA can't keep going to the downside, especially NASDAQ pukes, man. We'll have a big win here, but we'll take some out where we got in first to give us just that, that little bit of a cushion there. Always try to play with house money if we can. So let's see where the NASDAQ goes from here. But we're kind of covered because we do have Palantir long, but NVIDIA short will hurt us more than that.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to have that hedge position on. I feel like when my short is in the small cap, it's not good enough. L brands there, guys. I know it's a crazier mover, but it just kind of slowed down a little bit here at the top. And looking at like this 73.60 area, look, it's a strong chart. You get that nice little bounce here. It's a fantastic looking chart. Let's be honest about it. There is some room to 75 if it continues to run. So as much as you see that cluster to the upside, like I'd look at like that Moderna trade, I wouldn't be looking to reverse this thing unless it got to like that 75 and tested a little bit higher. So L brands, believe it or not, seems like it has some room. INMN, why did I not get shares in this thing just now? I kind of feel like IMNM. Thank you very much. I felt like I should have got these. I'm sitting at that 22 level and just barely missed it here. So I don't want to chase too far. The thing about, like I said in this stock, like you're risking, of course it's going to move to the downside like a buck now. You're risking like 50 cents to $1. So if you chase it too far, suddenly, that risk for reward profile gets skewed pretty quickly. It's not chasing it a couple of cents. If I got in short, I would have been taking it like 30 to 40 pennies lower, which kind of was not what I was looking to do. It feels like it's going to be falling here. If it breaks 20.50, I would watch out below. This was a $16 stock yesterday. You could certainly see it come at least halfway back between 20 and 16, but I did miss that entry.
Okay, people talking about BlackBerry. We can have a quick check there. Yeah, BlackBerry, nice little move upside there. I wonder when their earnings are. Maybe coming soon. BlackBerry.ny. Okay, so we can have a look at this. Also on Toronto. All right, so wow, a big spike there. Maybe some little bit of news, or I don't know. What was that break? I don't know. It didn't break anything right there. So maybe something coming up now for BlackBerry. This little, what is that? 400,000. So we're into 3 million. That's not bad. About a 13% or so print there in one candle. So we'll wait to see where it goes. Not one print, but that one candle there in one day. This is a 1 minute chart representing now about 13% of the day's volume. So we'll see what's going on with BlackBerry right here. A little bit to the upside. I mean, this is what's going down with it. I mean, we know that, but BlackBerry gets that nice little bump up in May, June with some of those meme stocks. And since then, it really hasn't been able to catch a bid whatsoever. I mean, it's a great, look, whenever you see stock like this, man, I mean, it's a great buy down here. $8, $9. So we're getting close, and maybe that's what it was. It's just, it hit yesterday. You get like a little bit of a doji star reverse action there, right there. If that was up here, it'd be called a doji star. I can't remember what it's called in the bottom, but right there, a nice little move down there. That might have triggered some buying today. So we'll see. It did hold that 950 level yesterday, so that could have triggered that. So a nice little news move to the upside, and Brendan letting us know that there is indeed nothing on BlackBerry today. So AMC's traveled a lot, man, and we didn't really do much about it there. It goes all the way back down to 36. Should have bought something in that cluster. Let's see now. We already talked about 37.34 on AMC. If you look here at a 20-minute chart, we went backside and showed you these kind of areas right here, 37.40, 37.80. So we got to get above 38 before anything really happens with BlackBerry, or sorry, with AMC. But so far, so good. A decent hold there. We already got out of 2/3 for a nice win, and now we're at the highest spot we've been at all, well, pretty much the highest spot we've been at for AMC all day. So I think it's worth taking out here about 37.23. And then we'll try one more long if we take out the top again. So let's reward ourselves for holding this, and then we'll take some more long if we take out 37.30 one more time.
Absolutely. AMC going to the, well, maybe not to the moon, definitely to that high of the day. Everyone's talking about this ALF. Not a random level that it is testing right now. Go back to the 12th here. You're going to see this rollover. You can see this rollover here at about like 13.15. Then check up the day before. Yeah, support that got broken and then tried to hold at 13.80. I love how like my 15 minute doesn't go back, but it shows some execution. So at one point I was trading breakouts on longs. It looked pretty solid at about $19. I don't think Alpha is going there, but that 13.85 that we're staring at right now doesn't feel like an unbelievably random price. This isn't easy to borrow. Like for a smaller cap name like this is one that traders like ourselves don't actually have to pay to short. So there are a lot of people that are probably going to be looking at that 13.85 to 14 area for a bit of a reversal play. I'd love to see it kind of hold up, check up, give a failed break of that level, not break through 14 before getting into the short personally, but I think there's a chance a lot of other traders might already be into it. Here's Peloton, got that first target, and now just a little bit of a sell just came in. Not on a lot of volume, but it definitely reversed off that 122.50 area. For the time being, it's holding this nice little 120. I'd love for it to put in a higher low. If it does that, I think all systems go to get back up to that 124 level, where we should be looking pretty good. I mean, Moderna, that would have been pretty good for me for sure. NVIDIA, which we only took that one trade in, just tested back up to 186. That was the price we liked before, but after we took the win, I did say I only want to short it again if it retests that opening range top. So if it shows enough strength to get back here, I kind of want to revisit this one back around like 187.50, 188. So if it goes a couple of bucks up, you'll likely see me in a short again on NVIDIA. I haven't touched Virgin Galactic, which is kind of crazy. Usually it's a name that will be trading pretty heavily, but I kind of look at this VWAP here and it gets pretty interesting if it tries to roll over. I mean, this stock, if the trend is your friend and you can't figure out what the trend is on this name, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I don't know what you're looking at. I don't get bullish on this thing till it's back above 33.35, which I think we said yesterday. So I'll short pops. Right now, it looks like VWAP is the only place to go.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree. So anyways, Palantir, we'll spin this, man. Everyone's favorite animation comes through because Palantir right back to basically, I'm not going to say days high, but we're right back at this high right now, 2160. Look at this reload. I mean, bang, bang. This is why you know, some days Palantir's on the list and some days it's not, right? So you got to sort of pick and choose when you're, wow, I was not expecting this kind of a move upside. 33 cents now in the money here for Palantir, so good on that. And we did reverse into the long now. So yeah, space, again, you know, take the profit. you know, taking out the bottom is what wound up hurting us. We did have a nice short out, like look at the short, out, and then we averaged in again and then took the hit there. So space is not going to be a positive name for us, but we are now back long here. So we're long 30.50 there, and we just took some out 67, and then right there a little bit before VWAP at 62. So now we'll see again. So we lose about 40 cents or so on this move, and then we're only making like 15 or 20. So we need to get it upside now to see where we're going to go. I don't love the long, but look at the NASDAQ, man. We called that to red, but now it's taking out day's high. So our NVIDIA short's going to be in trouble, but our NEO long is definitely not in trouble, as this is now a whopping 10 cents in the money. You know, after we had to average in, I really missed that 48. Damn, that would have looked nice to have a 48 spot right there. But we are ready at the big screen right now with Brendan and everyone's favorite segment, I guess, the small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, a bit of a choppy day so far. We'll touch on a few of the small caps that were moving around in the pre-market. I mentioned this one right before the open. AEHR, one from yesterday, made huge moves all the way up to 770, 775, was below the 720 support from aftermarket in the pre-market this morning. I said if it tests the high, gets above that, could go higher. Watch 7 as well. This thing flushed immediately off the open, so that gave you a nice move. Back to 580, which was around that pre-market support. So there is some buyers still around that pre-market support. IMNM, this is a case of if you stick to your plan, these trades become very, very easy. If you try and get cute, you end up getting run over. Wait for the flush, then be short. 24 at the top. We're down to 21 here for IMNM. This one was also very difficult this morning. A lot wider range than I was expecting on this one this morning. NRBO, again, you got to stick to your plan and then wait for the fail, and then it becomes a very easy trade. So this was 410, 405, 410, which was this pre-market resistance area. Gets all the way to 450, so we are back below this 410 now. If it gets back above that, I mean, you got to get away from this. The volume already dying down on this one as well. Bit of a choppy one so far today, guys. Back over to you.
Absolutely, Brendan. It's almost like, I mean, Brendan's always good luck. We got into IMNM, which was, you know, a fail the first time to catch it when it pops into VWAP. I said I'll get in front of that 22. Got 21.94. It wasn't doing a heck of a lot at the top end of the range, 15, 20 cents in the money. Brendan goes on screen, and then it pops down to like 21.30. I'll take some out in front of this nice little low here, in front of 21, and then see if we can't hold the rest to at least test the 20.50 bottom. If it bounced off that price, I'd take the rest out and capture, well, you know, like $1.50 on that trade. We like it. We got into it, but it has not given me a profit target. Like, remember I said, like, I'm not taking, like, I could have a 40, 50 cent win here, but I'm risking just a little bit more than that. So I need to take a bigger winner, even though it's a $20 stock. CCL came all the way back. Wow, CCL. Wow, wow, wow. This is one that I didn't think was going to happen at the open. Breaking that 20.35, I shouldn't say, not 30.35, but it comes all the way back now, taking out the highs of market, getting a little bit strong in CCL. I'll show you the 15-minute chart to see where this level came from. This is why we like to break out in CCL. You had the pre-market high, it then rebounded in the afternoon yesterday, right about at lunchtime, could not break that 20.30 pre-market high as well, and then now finally looking like it wants to make that breakout. So into CCL, and I don't know why. Oh, I know why I'm long, DD. Oh my goodness, DD did it too? I'm at least mildly surprised that this happened, because as good as the 11 break was, the last 20% we get out. Remember I said I put the stop at 11 even, not turn into a loser? And then DD does the same break that CCL just did here. So if the market reverses, I will be adding my second and third losers to the day for sure, because two of the weaker names in the market just took out multi-day resistance points here. And obviously, you know, with the flush we had yesterday, you'll have some resistance levels. Can they sustain the breakouts? We're about to find out, because I got them both.
Okay, so we actually got, I mean, it's not lucky because we got out for flat there. So so our average price, 184.50, we just took some out at 184.30. At that time, that was our price. Obviously, we're averaging up here, so the price is changing as we go. But watch out here, we are taking this bid right there, 184.30. So now our average price, and again, we just have less shares. I mean, that's all. We just took some off of NVIDIA right there as the NASDAQ marched to highs. So now when we start coming crashing right down, like hopefully we're going to do now, now, we'll have a much, much better price. And we'll see about a 183.30, like right in and around here. Even 183.30, yeah, right here where we took it. So we have a bid right there. That might be a little bit too, sketchy to get that bid, but we'd love to get that if it can come through. So let's see if the futures can fade out, which is no skin off our back, man. We now are light. We have 5% of Palantir left. So when Palantir rips up here and we're able to get some of these tops, like we just talked about, we just took a 62. We didn't get 69s or anything like that, the very high, or 68. But now we're light on Palantir, and we'll reload it when it comes back down. So we'll see if this is what's going to happen to the NASDAQ right now. I don't think so, but you always do have that chance here of something happening with the NQ. So we'll see if that's going to happen right now on the NASDAQ. But right now, Palantir retracing a little bit. My real worry, it's not a worry, but NVIDIA needs to get to the downside here.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting because the CCL sustaining, well, at least holding the breakout, but DD absolutely is not. I'll show you CCL here. That's going to be, well, this 1 minute chart. I got to zoom back in for you guys. Sustaining the break, but there's no, the momentum going into it was pretty good, but there's no big time momentum going through. So I might have to go tight stop on both of these. The last thing I want to see is this market start to rebound back into the downside. 4,300 just got tested on the ES. And if that doesn't hold, I mean, I can see CCL coming right back in here. I still got an RBO, but I don't think there's too much to worry about that. I think it's kind of, look, it's just sitting in the money, not doing anything, so we can hold on to the last of it. Peloton, on the other hand, and when we get that move to the upside, the market's trying to go, and Peloton has positive news, and then it just starts continuously sliding back down, maybe it does want to give it all back. And I got that feeling in here that it might do it. I'm not going to add back into this in front of that 120 level. We'll only have the one entry. And if it doesn't go, when the market makes a move like that on the positive news, I just got to walk away from this one if it can't make that push back into the upside. Looks like they're just selling off the positive news on Peloton. No momentum when the market looked relatively strong, which is kind of a disappointment. Moderna, which of course is being added to the S&P 500. Look, if I held on to the short, that's fine. It would have been a winner. But look, that's not the plan for me. It broke that high of the day. It's still continuing its upward trend for anyone following that. This is why I wouldn't dig in. This is why I wouldn't average into a short like that. It's one and done for me. And then you can see it was done on Moderna. Let's go, DD. Just actually pushed a little bit back on that potential break, trying to hold this 1130 area. So came in, and I hate going breakout on a parabolic mover. Candidly, the second I triggered out of this one, I should have adjusted. Do I want my stop order still? That's the first thing I should have been asking myself. I don't know. When it clustered here, it looked pretty good. But when it makes that parabolic move in and you get an entry like that, that's why I can't add to it on a dip where I usually would. Somewhere around this like 1125 area, I'd be adding to it on a dip. But the way I got into it just stinks. So adding to the position, I'm not going to be doing that one here on DD. It was a great short. Maybe I should have stuck to only going short DD, which has been the winning recipe basically since it opened up.
Yeah, we've had a couple decent long opportunities there, but it hasn't been super great anyways coming up for DD. So look, I mean, my whole, I've been basically flat here. I mean, we're going to be up, but a lot of it is going to be depending here, and that's what I was going to say on this NVIDIA trade. You know, if the NASDAQ does come down, then NVIDIA will cash us in and we'll make a hell of a lot of money. But, you know, if it doesn't, then we'll lose. And we won't lose a hell of a lot because of where our average price is. But I'm still thinking NVIDIA, I mean, I have bids down here, like 181 and change. So if that could come through, then that'd be fantastic. AMC, good out right there. We're waiting to see if it takes out the top, which it did. I don't know why I didn't go long there. 37, oh, maybe that was just a bad wick there. 30, yeah, okay, so we're waiting for 37.40. It didn't trigger in, so I don't know if that is the day's high or not. But AMC won in here, 36.50. Out there for 75s, out there for 85s, and then out there for 05s. So a nice little win there on AMC. This is what I mean, just to show you how the day's going. Two losers though today. SCOCO, we tried it, we won, and then it dumped out, so we lost on that trade, so that's okay. A little win and then a bigger loss, so that's gonna be negative. And then Space today, I don't know. I mean, it's roughly flat, but some of these are shorts, these are outs. It's this trade that's the big problem there. So now I think I may put this back on though if we break the low one more time, 29.73. We're going to seek a little bit of revenge on this stock. We're going to go short if it breaks it one more time, 29.73. And by the way, NVIDIA, we just said this would be our day. Let's see if it can cash down. I thought I was at, I'm at 183.30, not 184.30. Wow, that would have been a nice little profit spot there for us as well, but we don't get it there on NVIDIA ripping down. Hopefully goes NVIDIA. What's up, Rendo?
All right, guys, coming up in about 15 minutes, great interview. Another great company coming through for you. Fans Unite. Yeah, in the sports betting world. We're going to talk to Scott Burton, the CEO, coming up in about 15 minutes, so stick around for Fans Unite, guys. Going to be a good chat. In the meantime, let's get a check on what's happening over in Europe. About an hour left in the session there, V. What's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are positive with help of positive earnings. UBS Bank trading in Switzerland is up more than 4% after it reported a 63% jump in second quarter net profit. Back to you.
Yeah, everyone focusing on quarterly reports, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to talk here about Savalis there. Thank you so much, because you are 1,000,000% right. And that is that do not revenge trade anything, guys. You don't need to do anything. I remember when I was trading Goldman Sachs, that was my one negative day, was when Goldman Sachs just kept on pumping to the downside, and that was off earnings, right? And I just kept buying the dips, buying every dip until it wasn't a dip no more. And, you know, we wound up losing on that one. So, yes, thank you for that advice, and you are 1,000% right. We don't need to be in this name. We don't need to trade it again, but I'm not revenge trading this. I really think that this can go down lower. So we'll watch space one more time here. We'll take less shares, but we will take it and see if we can break that bottom. So it's not a revenge trade. It's just another setup. Like a revenge trade would be like short. Like I'm like so pissed off that I just keep shorting. I don't believe in it. This is just another setup. Like if I take away all of this, so let me just show you something here. If I take away these fills, right? And I just asked myself, would I take this break? Yes, I would. So forget about that. I already did it and I already lost. I'll put that in my back pocket and keep that in my head. But realistically, I like that break one more time. I'm just going to lower my shares because I did get spanked. So we'll see there. You know, if the stove is too hot, you don't need to keep touching it. But at some point, I do like breakdowns on this name. So although the short would have been better at VWAP there, we'll wait for it to break down through 29.70 and then we'll take it one more time. I'm pretty comfortable doing that.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to end up covering DD in the short. Like, should have stuck with the short. It was a great one off of 11 break. We said we'd have it whenever any point this week, or I guess even last week, if 11 it broke. We got it today, got the 96, ended up getting the low of the day, ended up getting the low of the retracement move. But we had that breakout in from the pre-market, and candidly, if I take a second look at this when it's clustering, I would have canceled that order and not gone long, but I didn't. I did not monitor my own stop orders. Got that break long. CCL break I still like, right? And that one was fine. We got into it. That's actually holding at the high, but DD, it doesn't. I'll take the hit, walk away from it. Didn't average in, which is about the only thing good about that long trade, because a lot of times I'd be buying that little dip in here. Will it have worked out? Time will tell, but for me, in, breakout, doesn't work. We walk away from that one. I said CCL is holding up a little bit here. I know the market's teetering at that 4,300 level on the ES. And CCL right on that high as well. I do have an offer in front of 2050 because, that's how, we talk about breakouts, quarters, 50s, that kind of a thing. CCL on the midst of a break, but if it gets up to, I'll point to the actual level here, 2080. If you go back to last week, that was the floor on Friday. I kind of feel like if it breaks that 50 level, that's a fantastic little target. I feel like it could have some trouble getting back up to that price, or at least slow down around there. So if it goes there at lunchtime, that'd be a good place to take some profit. In addition to in front of that 2050, just to go back to another one here, I've not, and I'm kind of kicking myself for this, but like Skoko, I should be short this name at some point. And it is trying to pop to the upside. It's back at this 1370 level. Every time it's failed at 930 on a breakout and fell back down in the last week, it has been a short the rest of the day, with one exception where it ran up in the power hour. So if I can make that play off of VWAP here at 14, I want to see if I can't do that. It just hasn't quite popped up enough. Volume dying on this stock. So that's a good sign for the short end of the trade at least.
All right, guys, it's hot dog time for every single person on this chat because here we go. Forget about space. I'm on the wrong stock. Look at NVIDIA here. So yes, sir, big time right here. So we're now positive on the stock, and now we're playing with house money. So let's go. This is exactly what we're talking about. Let's go to the downside. Goes NVIDIA here. We told you this would be the determination of our day. So yes, we actually, you know what? The profit was there, and I didn't want to bid this, but I put a bid at 184.10, and we did take that about $1. What was my average price there? About 70 cents or so when we did take it. So now we'll wait to see if it comes to the downside here for NVIDIA. We still have our out, so if we get out, we get out on this one. It's funny because NVIDIA is falling here, and the NASDAQ is still up high. So I'm super excited here when we get to the downside here because, yeah, we've held this one on. We've believed in our position. in. So here we go to NVIDIA. Thank you to Shakib. Thank you to for Savalis there for just commenting about how I explained that revenge trade theory there and why it wasn't. So that's good. And then we will also, guys, let's do this one. Let's just go with bang, because there goes Neo. Thank God. I'm really ashamed. I just should have hit my market key down here. I don't know why I bid 48. Like, I just should have punched 50s. Like, that was ridiculous. But Neo right back to where we first were. And it's a bang because there's, I mean, hidden in the woods here. And we'll find that down. We'll slay it right there. But hidden in the woods is a bid down here at 42.72. So that's where you're seeing me long now, 40 cents in the money. And that's what that trade was. So I told you, we got out for flat there. Then we buy this, and now we get out again, and now we're holding it one more time. So Neo, back to the positive side, man. We're positive today. It's a good day for us. Not a great day. Yesterday was a monster, and then today. So like just for example, on that negative day, I made double yesterday than I lost on the negative day, and here we go right now with NVIDIA screaming to the downside. I pulled my bid, by the way, at 183, but I'm going to put it back right now, 183 and change. We'll see if we could get this one. Maybe I won't actually do this as NVIDIA, a big trade today. I'll try to probably do this as the trade of the day, but let's wait to see how far it goes down, man. I'll put a bid right here, man, 182. We can get 182, then we're laughing here for NVDA, guys. Let's go.
And remember NRBO, we had that monster trade to the short side. Look at this breakout. Instead of 420 broke, I'd get back in off of 410 and then cover it if 420 went, because if 420 goes, I'm looking for that high of the day. So we're right back into that range at 455. This is why when you get into a move like this, the second or third time, either use less shares or have a tighter stop. You know, average in all the way back up to the high of the day is a good way to go broke, and I'm not going to look to do that off of what has been a good morning for me, at least, to that upside. If it goes 455, it's held at 365. So any one of these that holds the pre-market low, that does a flush, it has a chance for a breakout in the afternoon. That's why I want to look for that 450, 455 reversal style play there. Peloton somehow, I mean, I don't know, it's barcoding. The market's still trying to go up, and Peloton has now held 120 twice. The first time it actually tested the 50s. This time puts in the higher low. It's got to get you-know-what or get off the pot at this point. I kind of thought it would have more momentum going into it. Yes, it's a winning trade, but not all winners are alike. Sometimes you get a level like this. Ideally, you want it to go back into the breakout price, touch, consolidate, and then shoot to the upside. So it's not ideal when you're still working down like this. This is why, as it continues to form that wedge, I'm not going to average into it, because if it continues to hold it, it's almost better as a breakout style trade in the afternoon as opposed to just sitting in something against you without momentum. Yes, it's a winning trade for now, but that can change very, very quickly. One last one to get to here, guys. I want to cover, well, I mean, we traded Neo a lot yesterday. I had one trade in the pre-market today. Neo flushed. It holds 42.50. I'm kicking myself but the only level I liked was 42.50. But if you look back to where this thing closed, it was like a 43.35 close, 43.40 or so. There's been some resistance the entire morning at that price. So, you know, the market looking to break some highs here, and NIO looking to take out a key level on a bit of a retracement. So instead of buying that top, I'm looking at 43. I mean, you can call it 43.40, 43.50. I like the 50 level a little bit better. I mean, certainly you could already be in if you were looking at yesterday's close, but I'll wait for 43.50 to see if Neo can turn from red to green. It's been a wild ride for the stock, but look at all the barcoding. I want it breaking out of this range. Holding in this range would be fantastic. I mean, there's lots of scalp trades in there, but I think it's about to break out.
I want to give, I mean, we're long Neo now, 70 cents in the money. Austin, thank you so much. What a bottom pick on PLTR, man. Thank you so much. Spin those winners. Let's do it. Spin it. Money, I mean, we are just like, you know, I don't know. I mean, at some point, we don't want to tout. Well, we are touting. I mean, we're a show here. We're trying to entertain you guys, and we'll show you our winners and we'll show you our losers. And then, so here you go. I mean, this has just been destruction today to the positive side. So we're spinning money. So we'll backflip as well. Destruction to the positive side here for Palantir and for NIO, because this is and for NVIDIA right now, and for Neo, PLTR, Neo, NVIDIA, all three winners that we have on right now. This is a small one, so we're just spinning it for past wins. Again, we defended this 30 level back to back. We talked about yesterday the 21 level. The NASDAQ took off a little bit. Here goes Palantir, man. Or sorry, here goes NVIDIA. This is the level that we're initially short at. beautiful averages in. We would have had this earlier, but I put the wrong price. So when it comes back, we put the right price. And then now it's coming to the downside. And then there's that 185.50 that we wanted as well. So right now we're in the money, $2, and it's a big trade for us here on NVIDIA. So I don't know, man. I mean, my bid is 182.50. I don't think we're far away from that. Let's see. Wow, this is just, I'm over the moon here. Good trade right now on NVIDIA. Let's just keep it going. Maybe I'll get out at 183. Maybe I'm being too greedy waiting for 55 more cents. But here we go to the downside with NVDA. We are ready now for Brendan Wickens and Sector Watch. I love that board, big man.
Yeah, basically a reversal, guys, of what we saw yesterday. Exact reversal. In fact, we are nicely positive right across the board. 1.12 for the overall S&P 500. You can see every single sector in positive territory. There are a few individual names standing out to the downside. PPG over here in the materials group in negative territory. That was an earnings name. Philip Morris here, PM as well. 2.7%. OMC, another one to the downside. Everything else, though, nicely higher. Healthcare stocks among the leaders to the upside. Pfizer standing out here, 3.5% in positive territory. Gilead right below that, 1.8. HCA, MCK, UHS, to name a few. In the healthcare group over here, diversified financials among the leaders. Same story for the banks. Every single bank in positive territory so far, along with insurance companies. So industrials, banking shares, and healthcare stocks leading the market higher so far. Consumer discretionary is also bouncing back nicely. You can see, here we go, some of the cruise lines, 3.8% for Norwegian, Royal Caribbean here, 2.8%, CCL down there, Caesars as well among leaders so far. For some of the cruise lines. So travel names getting a nice bounce back as well. Far corner over there, the little real estate group also unusually strong today. A lot of volume coming back into play for them. 1.12 for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
All right, we said enough was enough there on NVIDIA, so we did take some out at 50 there on the way back up. Again, it's still not, I mean, I will take one of Neil's lines here, but you can't, like, when that comes all the way down there like that, and again, this is not a scalp. I mean, it is a scalp because it's quick, but at the same time, like, look what we've waited. This is 10:23, this is 10:34, this is 10:43. So we've waited 10 minutes for that move. So we can wait longer, and now I'm prepared to, now that we've lightened up. So in 3 times, lightened up, we still have 30%. Yeah, 33% of our position left on board. So I'm still rolling. I'm still rolling with NVIDIA here. So let's see if it can get to the downside at all. Now, hopefully it does, and we'll capture that profit. Palantir still at the top, and we're just still waiting for NEO to go. I know, well, Neil already talked about it, some of these levels, so I don't need to go over it, but I think it could break through here. And again, why were we holding NEO? If you go back to yesterday, I'll just pull up a 5-minute chart here. These levels right here, I was close to getting stopped out. Like, it would have been 42.50. It did break that. We put it a little bit lower. I can check my order. It's probably this level right here, 42.30. So that probably would have been the break. I definitely wasn't holding it all the way downside, so that's a good little level for us, but you can see where the buys are. It actually looks much clearer on a 5-minute chart, so there you go. In there, off of this cluster. And someone said, and I just said, I did a congratulations here, is right here. Daniel Frank, you or he, I guess Daniel, so he, said thank you for their, congrats to the NVIDIA win. Please make a video about averaging in, right? So again, if you look at NEO right here, I'll just do a live example with NIO as we go. So you can see, oh, hold on, I gotta cancel something. As you can see here with NIO, we averaged in on this cluster, right? Like right in here. So again, that gives us a little bit of support. I'd never average in blind, right? So you always got to make sure that there's something, some reason to average in there, and then again, have your stop somewhere. And you have to be willing to die on some of these swords. So, that's why when you have those negative days, sometimes I'll get hit and I'll be sad about it because again, the levels just failed, or I've started too long, or I've revenge traded. So started too early on the long. So that's a little bit of average in talk there and why I would do it and when I would do it.
And remember this one, Sean? I think pop culture, what is it called? Pop
CPOP,
culture,
right?
CPOP.
Yeah, I remember
that $77 stock that is now $8. Anyways, it's on the move again, by the way. But look, someone just asked about it in the chat. I'm like, 850, where it just, turned around to 837. Now, 850, this is that floor here from Friday. So again, you get the wipeout on Monday, and then you have a stock going parabolic into a Friday low. It turns around there. I think it's absolutely no coincidence that it does. It bounces off VWAP. This is that situation where if it fails on an 850 break, I'd be looking to short off of that move down into VWAP. But you look at the nice little trend that it has. It's kind of setting up for a bit of a breakout here. A small cap name like this can definitely run. It can definitely halt. So I'd be very careful trading it. For an $8 stock, I'm seeing 5 cents and sometimes a little bit bigger spreads on CPOP. So I'm looking for the short off of this 850 area, but just do be a little bit careful. This is one that I think could halt. This is one where if you have a stop order, put a couple of extra pennies on where you cross into it. I'm not saying use market orders, but you want to make sure you get that liquidity. It is now time for our guest of the day. Let's go right over to Brendan at the desk.
Guys, thanks so much. We are talking about the sports betting world today. Fans Unite joining us today. Scott Burton, CEO of Fans Unite. It's great to see you, Scott, once again to talk a little bit about not only the company, but the state of this sector. It's a very quickly expanding, I guess is the way to put it, sector. But let's kick things off with a little introduction here with Fans Unite.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us. So, yeah, Fans Unite, we're an online gambling company. We're based in Canada. We trade on the CSE under the symbol FANS, in the US on the OTCQX under FUNF. And we're a global online gaming company. So the history of Fans Unite is started a number of years ago, got public last March. It was always in the sports betting space, started moving towards some more M&A activity once it got public. Quickly completed his first acquisition of a UK sportsbook in Scotland called McBookie.com. And then we merged in Ascot Entertainment, which was a company I started many years ago. So the combination now is really a technology-backed company. So we have all the technology to run online gaming operations globally. We hold multiple gaming licenses. And then we kind of have 3 arms of the business. So direct-to-consumer, sports betting, esports betting, and casino, as well as a games division, Ascot Games, and then our B2B side where we license out software.
So touching all assets of this, or all areas of this market in general, let's talk about demand here. Give us your thoughts on where demand is overall in this market, and maybe what specifically or what area specifically of the gaming world you're currently seeing the most demand from.
Yeah, so we see it kind of different geographically, but obviously the big news and the big push is around North America. So, 3 years ago, the U.S. Started to legalize sports betting state by state. We're about halfway through that. So the huge upside, I think, globally that people are looking at now is the completion of all the rest of the U.S. states, and then we're seeing movement in Canada. So our demand from a B2B side, so for our technology platform, I would say is highest in North America for sports betting software. A lot of people want to get into that space. And then when we look outside of that, we're kind of a pioneer in the esports betting space. So we put out our first esports product back in 2014. So we were the first ever daily fantasy site for esports. So I think it's a combination of the growth of esports, a bit of the pandemic with sports going away for a while. Our demand outside of North America is heavily around esports betting.
Talk both. You mentioned the technology side of things and the fan side of things. Let's talk a little bit about what attracts users on each. So you maybe start with the technology side here. What is it about this product that is best suited for what people are looking for, and then vice versa on the sports side of things as well? What brings the fans to Fans Unite?
Yeah, so we have the 2 arms. So on the technology side, that's really our B2B side. So we're going after, either existing operators or people who want to get into the sports or esports betting space, online casino space, but would rather not go through the process of acquiring online gaming licenses, building out a full technology team, having all the compliance people in place. So we do all that. So, that's what's bringing people to us now is the flexibility of our platform, the robustness, the ability to handle esports betting, I think best in market. So that's where we get the B2B people coming to us. In addition, we're seeing fewer providers of sportsbook technology right now. With the growth, a lot of the operators who used to just license their technology are looking to buy it in-house. So we saw that with, DraftKings when they went public, they acquired SB Tech, which takes SB Tech out of the market. Bally's acquired BetWorks, which takes BetWorks out of the market. GAN has acquired CoolBet. So there's a lot of demand for operators like us who can provide a licensed technology. And we've been licensed in Isle of Man. We've been licensed in Malta. We're about to get licensed in the UK. We've announced US deals. On the consumer side, we really focus on niche markets where we think we can, dominate. So MakeBookie, for example, really keys in on the Scottish market. So they know the Scottish market better than anyone. So we really have a competitive advantage there. We launched a Brazilian brand called Vamos GG. So that's focused on the Brazilian esports market. So by owning the technology and having the licenses, we can really hyper localize sites and bring in content specific to that market and be a leader. We don't see ourselves as a direct-to-consumer operator in the US, but in smaller markets, we can go in directly quite effectively.
There's a security side to this business as well that fans need to be aware of and viewers need to be aware of as well. Talk a little bit about how the technology side of the business addresses that. And I'm speaking of, the identification, making sure we're, dealing with the actual individuals that are presenting themselves to you. And then to wrap up here a little bit, maybe discuss, where does Fans Unite fit in this overall group? As we said, there's been a lot of consolidation and acquisitions happening. Where do you see maybe 1 year, 3 years down the road? Where is Fans Unite at that point?
Yeah, so quickly on the security side, it's probably the thing we spend, some of the most time in the development phase. We have to be able to, identify users, as you mentioned. We need to be able to verify age, identity, location. Then we need to track activity. So we monitor volumes. We monitor any irregular activity. Our system's entirely automated, so we can lock out users until our head of compliance or our partner's compliance officers can go in and check. We have constant reporting with our gaming regulators. We're also watching things like money laundering. We're keyed into data providers who look at match fixing. So it's a huge piece of the business and something that, again, you need to get right. And we've done that in multiple jurisdictions, so we can give comfort to anybody who's getting into a new space like the US who may not understand a lot of what needs to happen. You mentioned where we are. I think we're in a great spot. We recently financed again. So since we merged Ascot and Fans Unite last August, we've raised close to $49 million. These are Canadian dollars. We have about 37 of that in the bank. Our revenue's ramping, so we're in a great cash position. We want to deploy that to grow the business through more M&A activity like we've done. But we're really a very small cap company in a massive space when you look at the DraftKings, the Flutters, even GAN, even the Score in Canada, which is trades over $1 billion. We're in the 1 to 200 million range, and so I think we can be there easily in the next 1 to 3 years.
Listed as FANS, guys, on the CSE and FUNFF OTC markets in the U.S. Scott Burton, CEO of Fans Unite. We appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
There we go, guys. Another one from the gaming group, ever expanding gaming group, guys. Fans Unite.
Absolutely, Brandon. It's good to learn about the expansion in the market. You've heard us actually talk about. It's interesting. Last mentioning those symbols there. Score here over here, and you talk about DraftKings and GAN, which we mentioned before. But another good interview that actually, looking at the daily chart, right on support levels. Okay, so fans.cn, a little bit on my radar for a bit of a setup. Anytime you find good support, it's just like a technical thing. It doesn't mean necessarily anything, but we love to find support clusters. We talked about that with Mark Roberts. With only 5 minutes to go, a few things to get to here. One, I was asked about Peloton here. And look, the market broke through that 4,300 level. I don't know why that chart froze on me. Ooh, did all my charts just freeze? Okay, so anyways, thank goodness. My 15-minute is going to be able to show you. It did get a VWAP on my 1 minute chart there, was right at that 123 level. The market was breaking out and Peloton was stalling at VWAP. So I covered the rest of that trade. So we'll only end up taking $1.75 instead of like 2.5 to 3 on the last little bit. I just wanted to play a little bit conservative because the market broke out. On the other hand, CCL, and I'll probably have to stick to the 15-minute chart, I was able to get some more out in front of that 2050 area. It is still pressing higher. I think this can get to that 2080. That again, it's not like that Friday bottom. So you have that gap down on yesterday, the recovery breakout. That Friday low is going to be that little bit out that I'm looking for. So CCL working, and I feel a little bit better holding on to this one to fill in the gap than Peloton, which was just that was a buy the dip on news, whereas this is more of a breakout after yesterday's flush on CCL. So I'll hang on to the rest of that one. I did also get CPOP to the short side off of that 850 area, guys. So I got 837. I showed you on the 1 minute. Apologies for that. But this again is that floor from Friday. On this name, I shorted into it. We're able to get a bunch out. I just got the last at 785 for a quick 50 penny winner. I'm still holding on to the last quarter. See if I can't get the push all the way back into this previous high here in the pre-market, 730. That'd be about $1 win. That's the ultimate target. I'm still willing to give it to the high of the day. So if it breaks the high, I'll be out. Otherwise, let's see if I can't get the buck on the last of those shares. So just a couple of positions left on for me, CCL long and CPOP short.
Just a quick NFL story, because Neil and I play fantasy football, and we've been in a league together for very long. Cam Akers gone for the year. Torn Achilles. So it was about to be a big year for the Rams, I feel.
I have Henderson in my Dynasty League.
Yeah, so there you go.
And the guy wouldn't trade. Sorry,
here's Daryl Henderson will take on.
In your face.
You know what? They'll find somebody else.
Daryl Henderson.
But you know who they have that's still a free agent, Neil.
Who?
Todd Gurley, one of the best, well, not the best. Marshall Faulk was Ram as well, but Todd Gurley could be coming back in there. So
I love Todd Gurley.
No,
he was a track athlete, and I had him in all my fantasy teams, but Todd Gurley's knee is done.
Yeah, too many miles on that dude, that's for sure. So, but anyways.
I shouldn't be happy.
Just an update, fantasy sports update. And anyone looking for a fantasy sports host or anything like that, hit this guy up in his DMs. Oh yeah, and by the way, I do want to say one more thing. I've gotten way too many, and I think we all have over the last couple weeks and months, especially because I have an Instagram account. Make sure you're following the right accounts, guys. Always make sure it's just Trader TV Sean. There's no underscore, there's no nothing. You can follow it. I'll put it up here again if you want to. Just make sure you're following. Just follow right now. Follow all of us on Twitter. Follow me and the main account, which Valeria runs as well, on Instagram. So make sure that you follow the right account, because you know what? I'm getting messages, and I just feel bad because, asking for money, asking for this, telling you here's the real secret. The real secret is watching the show, and the show is free. So we have videos out there, we have things like that. So please just avoid anything on Twitter. Me, Neil, or Brendan are not sending you guys DMs about learn to trade or anything like that. Just watch the show. Let's do that, guys.
You know what? I only have to say this because someone sent me a DM and it just said the word test, and I was like, why would someone just send the word test to me? And they were like, because there's fake accounts. So the other thing you can always do is if one of us tweets at you, just ask a question that's obvious. Ask them, do I like pineapple on pizza? They'll have no idea what you're talking about, whereas I'll get a good laugh at it and respond to you guys.
But yeah, I really think that's a good solution. But I think just follow us all. If you follow the right accounts now, then you won't have a problem, because you'll see that that you're following the right account. So just hit us all up right now. I just put it in there. I know they're all bots and stuff. I'm with you, Damien. It just sucks that it happens, because they are trying to get you guys to send BTC and everything. Let's not make the man wait. What's up, Brendan?
On that, guys, you have to be very careful as well. There was one that was sent to me yesterday just highlighting the actual handle is not the only thing that they can change. So sometimes they'll add a letter on the end or an underscore or something like that on the end. It's the description as well. So there's one that was sent to me yesterday. The handle was symbol for symbol identical, but then down in the description part, there was a random extra space in one of the words. So you have to be very careful. Again, as Sean was saying, none of us will ever send you anything asking for money for anything. So just go with that. Here comes the earnings, guys, for tonight and tomorrow morning.
I don't see anything that I'm interested in there besides all of them, pretty much. You know, Johnson & Johnson's a big one. We've been watching. I mean, I want to watch Netflix for a while. I'm hoping they kind of miss so that I can pick some up on the down low. But I do like Netflix there. That's my biggest one for me.
I mean, Coke's interesting, but I like Pepsi better. So I'll be watching that to see if there's an opportunity to get more Pepsi. I don't know, whatever. I like Pepsi. I think the three ones are, well, United, sorry, no. United as well, and Verizon. United could be very interesting. So there is some good names for earnings. I think a lot of people are going to be watching the close today for our show because there's a lot of active movers. And let's not forget, in addition to NVIDIA and the split, you've got Moderna going S&P 500 effective tomorrow morning, meaning at the close there will probably be some activity on Moderna, almost guaranteed. It should be fantastic.
Look at NVIDIA, guys.
Is this actually really what National Day it is? Bezos is winning if this is the actual national day. Not that he actually went there, but Ms. V, in the green, market green, what are we looking at?
Yeah, all that flight wouldn't happen without this national day. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Please, please, please make sure you like this video. We have just 1,100 likes. It's nothing. We deserve much more. So, guys, please just double check that your thumb is turned to the upside. We'll see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Moon Day, everyone. And lollipop.
I mean, to say Bezos is winning, how
he
about winning life right now? But good little moon day. Obviously, Bezos did not go to the moon, but it was a nice little experiment. Seems to be pretty successful. We haven't really been able to find out much about it because we've been on the show, but congratulations to Amazon shareholders like me, and like you guys hopefully out there as well. You should be owning Amazon if you haven't, but that's a good stock today. Actually, let's just quickly look at it. NVIDIA right now, $3 in the money, so that's going to be a good one. I think we'll probably do that one for the trade of the day because of the averaging in. I don't know, we can do that, or Neil has some good bangers as well. Amazon started the day off nicely, guys, as everything was going down, and then it just got faded out and now back, so up 0.13. So congratulations to Amazon and to Jeff Bezos, and congratulations to you guys for watching the show. I hope it was a good one.
Yeah, I'd actually look. I mean, I'd own Blue Origin over Virgin Galactic if I had that choice, but you don't have that choice, so it is what it is. Down the line, we got to do it. I know we're going to be back we'll be back at the close at 3:15. It should be a fun one. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for all the support and all the love in the chat. It's a lot of fun to be able to do the show. So right down the line, 1.3% on the ES, 0.7 on the NASDAQ. Miss V, the streak continues. Brennan kicking butt in the interview as always, and myself, Dale Roberts, and for Sean Katina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you at the close. Bye, guys.